Analyze your life.
What the fuck was that, Ken?
Joey Fats Radio, row one, seat one.
I've been loving every second. I'm not rooting for injuries openly, but
I just pretended that was Brian Deegan.
I'm so fucking pumped. I'll be like, yeah, bitch, fuck
I will do that.
I'm gonna find him on LinkedIn and be like, "Did you punch a kid in the face? Tell me the truth."
All right, Sean brought his A game tonight. All right, okay, I like it. I like where this is going. And I don't want to put this as like a thing. Like he wasn't a bad guy, as far as we know.
Who said he was a bad guy?
I don't know, but I feel like we're painting him in this light that he was like this bad guy, and I don't want to do that. To this day, I hope you hear this. Fuck you. But rules are rules, okay? Stupid rule, but it was a rule. If you were a Crip and you were cooling in the cut, what do the Bloods do? Are they booling in the butt? Yep. Also, we are extremely juvenile, and yeah, whatever. Fuck you. All right.
You fucking smacked me in the ass, you dumb fuck.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen. Wait.
Now I'm there.
There you
Good
are.
evening.
Good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us. Jesus Christ, why are my fucking headphones so goddamn loud? Oh, there it goes. Okay, I was going the wrong way.
No, it's all you then.
Thank you for joining us. Joey Fats Radio, row one, seat one. Live right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide. It is absolutely beautiful on this Tuesday evening.
Yeah, where was all that rain supposed to get today?
I don't know, but I legitimately decided not to golf this morning because I was on my way to the course. It started raining. My buddy texted me. He's like, it's pouring at my house. I'm like, it's not raining down here. It's just spitting a little.
Drizzled.
And then we get to, I look at the radar. It looks like there's this monster glob of like green and yellow moving towards us. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like being wet and annoyed today. I'm like, never mind.
It does one of these. You see that big green blob, then it goes, just curves around where you live.
Yeah, it just goes like this, just splits. And it's like, excuse me.
I
And I'm
I don't understand any of those things. I'm like, how does that work?
every time, and yet until the time it doesn't, and then I show up to the course, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't feel like going there, and it's all wet and it grows, and so it's just too much.
I know,
I'm like,
it's a pain.
Golf is hard enough in good conditions. It's a whole nother thing. Like, I'm not good enough at golf to be like, yeah, let's go out in the rain and the wind and still try to shoot a good round. Like, no, I'm not that good. I don't care that much. So I ended up canceling golf, but it was all for naught because apparently it didn't fucking rain and nothing happened, and I ended up not playing for no reason, I guess. So it was a little damp out there, I suppose, but whatever. Is what it is. But yeah, there was no rain, and now we are on the precipice of a monstrous heat wave, which personally I, for one, am welcoming.
I will die.
I cannot wait. I am looking forward to it.
I don't do well.
I know you don't. Don't worry, I'll have the AC on Sunday. It's fine.
I just wilt and I just collapse to the ground like that fucking. I didn't even watch the show regularly with Michael Cera. You see him in the field and he just collapses into the grass. That's me.
Sean just does not handle the heat at all.
No, I can't do it.
I don't mind it. I keep my sweat rag in my back pocket.
I can't
just dab my forehead. And I'm good.
Massachusetts heat. You know what I mean? Like, there's different heats. There's dry. Like, if I had a dry 90, I'm okay.
Oh well, that's different. Yeah, you go out to Arizona, Nevada, something like the desert heat is different.
Yeah.
See, I love the humidity. I like the hot and humid. I enjoy it. I really do.
I got swamp ass all day.
I don't mind it.
Nope.
It's just one of those things. It just doesn't bother me.
Do not enjoy it. My armpits are just screaming.
Yeah, I get it. Trust me. I do tend not to like it when I'm at work, but that's because there's nowhere to get cool at my work, mostly. So it just kind of sucks. But
I gotta be dressed. I gotta be dressed at work. Thank God I don't have to wear a blazer. That's optional. I have a necktie just choking me all day softly.
Yeah,
it's like a very weak midget, just all day. One thing goes wrong, and I'm just just tie off of me. I'm rip the tie off immediately.
It's a very weak midget. I like that. 774-992-8702 is the phone number if you want to give us a call. We've got a pretty loaded show for you here tonight. We're going to get into the NBA Finals. We're going to get into Raffy Devers. We're going to get into a little bit of NFL talk. One thing that we did not talk about last week because the news broke kind of the day of the show, and I kind of missed it, that F1 has ruined Racing Christmas. AKA
What does that mean?
AKA Memorial Day, the greatest racing day of the year. We'll touch on that. We'll get into some of the NASCAR betting from Mexico City. We did, in fact, tell you guys to take Shane Van Gisbergen if you felt so inclined to do.
You did.
Yep. I didn't take him because I wasn't looking for that $2.70 payout. But he won, and he dominated and dunked on everybody. We'll get into a little bit of NASCAR playoffs. We'll get into a little bit of F1. We'll do a little bit of everything on that smorgasbord. And, of course, we'll take your call, 774-992-8702. We appreciate you. We do it for you guys, so please give us a call if you want to get your thoughts across the air. I know there's going to be some pissed off Red Sox fans out there tonight. There's a lot of pissed off people. None more than the people in Dedham today who did not get a verdict in the Karen Reed trial.
My God.
I mean, let's just lead off with the obvious non-sport story of the week.
We're 100% talking Karen Reed to start the show.
Like, you think, maybe we'll do Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark again, because that's been a pretty good lead-off story.
Angel Reese, by the way.
Nope.
Wait, really quick. She ruined all of our fun. You know those guys that were betting on her missing her first shot?
Oh.
She copyright restricted them and is now going after them, suing them so they have to take down their whole channel.
That's okay. They'll get around that.
Not right now, they're not.
That's all right. They can take down the channel. They'll start a new one, and they'll still do it.
The WNBA is going after the kids.
What are they going to get after? What are they going to go after them for?
$15, probably.
Probably. What are you going to come after us for, bro? Like our winnings? Like, cool. Those are off the books, bro. See you later. But no, let's get into the. I mean, if there was ever a reason why you needed to hate Angel Reese more, there it is.
There's tons of reasons.
There's so many. There's an infinite amount of reasons. But I want to talk about the Karen Reed trial real quick because we don't typically do.
We've never really talked about this case.
Yeah, we don't.
Here.
It's not like I talk about it on Mondays on the adult table with Travis.
I've heard you and Travis talk about it.
We go off on it a little bit and get into it. My basic listen. We know that this is now day 3 of the jury deliberating. How it has taken more than fucking 10 minutes of deliberating to get to a conclusion on this, I don't know.
Right.
But my dad has been on 3 juries before in his life for like pretty significant cases.
I've been on 2.
Like for like weeks on end, he's had to go.
I had weird ones. I had dog bite and rape.
Yeah,
those were tough cases.
Dog bite? What kind of dog was it? I can already tell you if they're innocent or guilty.
No comment. I will tell you this. It was settled before we came to our conclusion.
So it was a pit bull.
It was.
Shocker.
It was. And
no
then,
way. The breed of peace strikes again.
And then the rape one was just like,
I still don't understand people who own pit bulls as pets. I just don't get it.
That's a whole different case.
It's just I will never understand it. Like, they're not pets. It's like the same people that buy Belgian Malinois as pets. I'm like, no, dude. No, that dog is not a pet. That is a working animal that has a purpose. At least the Malinois, like, they have an actual purpose. Pit bull's purpose is only to maul and kill small children and other animals. So there's only like 2 pit bulls I've ever met that I like, and one is my neighbor's, and his name is Pudge, but he's like a little mini one. So it's like his head's normal size, but his body's very small.
The push-up dog.
And he's very cute, and he loves my dog, so it's cool. But my dog's also bigger than him, so that could play into it. But that's it. That's the only pit bull I like. Other than that, as far as I'm concerned, they can all be eradicated. Like, they can go the way of Iran at this point. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, can we get the IDF over here to exterminate the pit bulls? Be like, hey, do you know what Hitler's favorite breed of dog was? It actually wasn't shepherds. It was pit bulls. And the IDF's like, eradicated. Next thing you know, there's just like this big anti-pit bull thing coming out of Israel, and we're like, oh, well, I don't know. How'd that happen? Anyway, we could do Iran-Israel, too.
Oh, God, I don't want to get into Iran-Israel at all.
It's...
Dude, that has been like a fucking nightmare. Jesus Christ.
It is wild. I guess Israel's dropping more bombs as we speak, but nonetheless, I stand with my Israeli brothers. So
it's unbelievable the shit's going on in the Middle East right now.
It is. It's getting wilder and wilder.
I love, not to get into it, I love Israel was just like, yo, United States, can we have your support? And the United States is like, moral support, like double thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we'll just go kill the supreme leader of Iran. And the United States is like, Hold the fuck up. we gotta talk about this like civilians.
When we said moral support, we just meant like, yeah, we like you more than them, not go kill the Ayatollah.
Oh my god! And it was just like, I can't.
Which I mean, if they kill the Ayatollah, do we really fucking care? I mean,
no, I don't.
The enemy of my enemy, all that kind of shit.
This is just a nightmare for everyone over there. It's just bad.
I mean, I still blame Palestine, and I will always. I mean, listen, you can't. Nothing is ever going to change my mind. Like the day they decided to paradrop into a concert and rape, murder, and maim 1,200 innocent people, pretty much all bets were off. As far as I'm concerned, hashtag Pave Gaza. I don't care if you disagree with that thought, that sentiment. Fuck you. Fuck your feelings. You want to argue or debate it with me? I'm game. But as far as I'm concerned, we could wipe Palestine off the earth tomorrow, and nothing of value would be lost. So, you want to? I'm not saying. I'm not preaching my outright support for the Israelis and the way they do things. But
it's tough because at times I do see both sides.
I don't.
No,
I don't remember the last time the Israelis just paradropped in and decided to,
not like
live stream themselves raping innocent.
Not like
people.
that. Not like that. Well, I do feel bad for
literally just like, hey, let's break this girl's 4 limbs and then rape her over and over again until she dies, and then post it on the internet.
I'm not saying
that was a real video. You can look it up.
No, that is a real video. There is barbaric shit that happens over there every day.
Yeah, because there's one religion in the world that tends to be about 7,000 years behind the rest of the modern world. I mean,
it's not even just that. It's just not even just the horrific shit you say and they put out there and the terrorism stuff. It's just like I feel bad for the little kids.
I don't.
It's
because you know what those little kids are? Those are savages in training.
I get what you mean.
If
they're going to grow up into the extreme.
There's an 8-year-old kid over there right now that if he had a gun in his hand, he would come find you and put a bullet in your head and your whole family's. So,
and part of that is true, and unfortunately,
that's
because
not part of it, all of it.
No, because we've had many soldiers that come back and be like, we had to shoot kids because the kids had guns and they were going to kill us, like if we didn't shoot them first. And it's tough because
Hamas routinely uses civilians as human shields, and they they
put themselves in schools,
they build
and
bunkers
in
under hospitals
and
and elementary schools.
I know.
And then a drone hits them and blows up the school, and they're like, they killed this elementary school, and like 6 kids got killed because it was a Saturday and there was an after-school program. But what savages? And you're like, well, why did you put a weapons cache, underneath the elementary school? Oh, right, so you could flip it and turn it. Anyway, I don't give a flying fuck. Pave Gaza. Get rid of the whole fucking that whole section of the world. Honestly, I don't fucking care.
It's
they're all fucking savages, and I will go, you can, like I said, you can fight me on that all you want. I have a cousin who's all fucking, pro Hamas and anti-Israel and shit. And
unfortunately, I know who you're talking about already.
No, I don't think you do.
Not that one?
My cousin?
Yeah.
I don't know how you would know her.
No, never mind.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever.
Okay.
I don't even know if you even know she exists. But anyway, she's like posting on Instagram every day all this bullshit about like pro Hamas and all this other crap. And I'm just like, dude. I'm like, honestly, if you weren't my cousin, I want to like fight her on it. But this is what happens when you go to FSU. They make you retarded. Should have gone to Miami. Just saying.
My God.
Anyway, my uncle's probably rolling in his grave right now. God damn it. So, anyhow, neither here nor there. But anyway, Karen
Reed. Yes.
So the Karen Reed trial is the most infuriating thing. Like I was saying, my dad has been on 3 juries in his life, and he has always told me, and this is going back to like when I was in like middle school, when he was on, I think, the first one, and he has always said to me, he goes, you have no idea how stupid people are until you sit on a jury. He's like, you can look at facts and take common sense and apply it and use the logic. And he goes, and there is always one person with a fucking agenda. For some reason, on every jury he's been on, somebody's got a fucking agenda.
Yeah.
And somebody's got to push their own fucking beliefs that go against the facts, that go against the shit. And I feel like that's what we're at with the Karen Reed trial, because there is no fucking way. And again, to the people that believe that she did it, I plain and simple feel sorry for you.
I don't understand. And anybody that does feel that she's guilty, I would love to hear from you. I haven't met one person, not a single individual. And I said, I'm not going to give any bias. I said, I have no dog in the race with Karen Reed. Like, it's not like I fucking personally know her or anything.
Right,
like
I'm
that.
not fucking her. I don't give a shit.
If she is guilty, I'm fine with her being guilty. Show me the facts and the evidence. Show me proof. Show me scientific evidence. And then everyone's like, yo, you wait for it. Ooh, you get that black box and you're going to start. And they're doing all these things and all this stuff comes out and it's like, there's nothing. And it's like, well, yeah, but it showed it reverse. And I'm like, yo, every car reverses. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, and just the reverse, she used gas. And I'm like, again, none of this is making any sense in points.
When the independent crash reconstruction people that were hired by the state,
by FBI,
by the FBI,
the FBI hired ARCA. Even though you can't say the words FBI right now.
And then they come in and they say there was no collision with a vehicle.
Yes.
What are we doing here? Why are we even having this conversation? The people that the FBI hired to come in and reconstruct the accident,
yes,
were like, yeah, there was no accident. There was no car versus body.
And on top
why
of it,
are we even here?
On top of it, they said
case closed.
They said for this to happen, it goes against the laws of physics. As soon as someone told me that, a guy with like 1,100 degrees, right, in every kind of statistical field there's a biometrics guy and there's also a data guy, and both of them together are like, it breaks all the laws of physics of what they're explaining what happened. It just doesn't make any sense. And they retested it with a dummy, and they do all these things. They do real testing with it, and it's just unbelievable.
It is.
It shows at 24 miles an hour, the dummy and the light obliterated. Like, and they were just like, oh, that proves it. She definitely could have hit him. And it's like, the ARCA guys were like, you don't understand. There were multiple broken bones. Like, his skin was basically torn off of his body. The diffuser wasn't even touched at 24 miles an hour. And this is saying at 29 miles an hour, no damage happened to John O'Keefe, and it broke the diffuser. And yet, even though the diffuser, which lights the light bulb, was broken, the light was still on up until 4 p.m. the next day after she hit him. But then,
miraculously.
But then at 4:30 p.m., after 4:30 p.m. the next day on January 30th, all of a sudden, the diffuser's broken. It's like, it's been in police custody all day. What do you mean?
Yep, and then, listen, we could go through the evidence like piece by piece throughout the entire trial. I'm not wasting any of my time doing it. If you haven't kept up with it to this point, then that's on you.
Oh my God, yes.
Then
there's so much evidence.
I've been in this for almost 2 years now. I've been following this story since Turtle Boy first broke it, and I'd never heard about it until Turtle Boy broke it.
Same.
And then Turtle Boy started uncovering all this stuff, and I think he did like 110 articles.
Yeah.
Well over 100 articles, maybe even more than that, just on this Karen Reed thing, exposing all this shit, like, the dog bites, his Apple Watch showing the data saying that he went up and down flights of stairs, minutes before he was outside, like several times, like all the shit, the floor that was ripped up, the pool that went missing,
the house that was sold for under asking,
the house that was sold, the dog that went missing,
rehomed, by the way,
rehomed. The phones that went to, Otis Air Force Base that were miraculously wiped the day before they were being, they were supposed to be turned in for subpoena.
And what they transported in a Fabergé bag.
Dude, like,
I'm not even sure if I'm saying that correctly, but basically a bag that's made to hide satellite compasses from finding your cell phone.
Yes. The same ones they lock your phone in when you go to a concert that you can't have.
Yes.
You can't take photos and shit.
Yes.
So, listen, all that being aside, again, if you haven't kept up with the evidence and you think, that's on you. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, just go look it up. Like, the evidence that suggests that she did it is non-existent. It doesn't exist. The lies exist. Now, I get the people who are like, listen, dude, Occam's razor. Keep it simple, stupid. Mm-hmm. What do you think's more likely? There's this like massive multi-agency police cover-up over a dead Boston cop, or this girl got drunk, reversed into her boyfriend, and hit him because they got into a fight. I mean, one of those two is much more likely than the other.
Yes. Unfortunately,
in this case, this is one of those few times it doesn't apply.
Correct.
Or it applies, but it's not the reason. This is the we say 9 out of 10 times Occam's razor is usually right. This is not that time. This is the 1 out of 10. So yes, you have a 1 out of 10 anomaly. Yes, you have it. We see it every single day. in court. We see it with the way that the judge is handling it, the way that the prosecution has handled it. They have nothing. This is what I'm so frustrated about is the fact that the jury is taking 3 days to figure this shit out. This should just be an open and shut. She didn't do it. Why are we even here?
What are we at? 15 hours of deliberation, something like that.
It's
something insane.
It's way more than it should have been. And I don't know who the fucking dickbag is on that jury that's sitting there being like, well, she was OUI. Who gives a fuck if she was OUI? That doesn't that. Even if she was OUI, she didn't hit the man with the car. So even if she was OUI and she drove, she didn't get caught.
Right.
She didn't get caught being OUI. I've driven OUI 1,000 times in my life.
And so
and I didn't get caught. So therefore, I can't be charged with it. You can't look at the security footage from a bar that I was at, see me drinking, then see the security footage of me go out, get in my car, get home safely, park my car, and then the next morning be like, sir, we're taking you in for OUI. It doesn't fucking work like that.
It doesn't work like that. The only counterpoint I think they have, and I think whether it was Turtle Boy or whether it was someone else brought this up, they asked a good question. They asked a question, and that led them to believe that they have to decide on this. They said, does that HBO interview, does that count as evidence? Did you put that into evidence? Because she says in the interview, like, I was drinking, I drove home drunk, blah, blah, blah.
Doesn't matter.
And they're like, like if she's saying she's drunk, maybe we have to charge her with OUI.
I could call New Bedford police tomorrow and be like, sir, I'd like to confess a crime. What was it? I drove drunk 6 hours ago. I was at this restaurant. I had this many drinks. I believe I was over the legal limit, and I drove home. Did anything happen? No. What happened? So you got home, you parked your car, now you're home. Yup. They're going to fucking laugh at me. They're going to hang up the phone, or they're going to tell me to quit wasting their fucking time.
I don't know about laughing at you.
They're going to tell me to stop
pissed.
wasting my time and laugh and hang up the fucking phone. They're not going to be. No, then they're going to send somebody to my house and be like, "Why? What the fuck is going on here? What is it? This is a strange phone call. Why are you calling to rat yourself out for OUI?"
Yes.
Oh, right, because it doesn't fucking matter. It has nothing to do with anything. So the fact that there's some fucking ignoramus on that jury that is hung up on whether or not they should charge her for the OUI thing should be not guilty across the board. All 3 counts, not guilty.
Well,
Done.
I think the fucking judge's answer back to them was so condescending and cocky that if I was a person that was saying like, maybe we should charge her with OUI, I'd be like, this bitch really just told me to just fucking figure it out myself. When it was a fucking legitimate question, I'd be like, now she's not guilty.
Question.
Now she's not guilty on everything. So fuck this lady.
And you're just being obtuse for the sake of being obtuse.
Oh, she's being an asshole. I think she knows. I think her and the Commonwealth know that she's gonna get not guilty in all the murder charges, and they're just dicking around this DUI stuff. And she's like, whatever, you just go figure it out. I'm not helping you anymore. Just go figure it out.
Well,
and she's pissed.
And I think that's what they're mad that their case it got blown up.
Yeah, it was dog shit.
And they didn't have a case to begin with.
No.
Again, like I said, anybody who's been paying attention to this for the last year plus should know by now that in a court of law, it is on the accuser to pin it on the accused. You must prove that the accused did it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Correct.
There is so much reasonable doubt in this case that it's not. It's like how this even got to this point is fucking beyond me. And it's really infuriating knowing that my tax dollars are going to fund this bullshit.
Dude, we paid a guy $400,000 to paint his arm blue. $400,000. And then the prosecution's like, by the way, that Lexus you bought for testing out, what's going to happen to that Lexus? And they're like, I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's like, we may donate it. What do you mean may donate?
Yeah, what, to your niece who just graduated high school? Like, fuck you, dude.
And then they got $400,000, and it's him like this, and like putting his arm on the back of the
dude,
like, I could do that too.
It's absolute fucking insanity. I have no idea how this is still going on. And again, my thing has been this, and I've said this on the adult table on Mondays with Trav, and I've said it over and over again, even to the point now, like when my wife comes to me and she's like talking to me about it, and I'm like, I know. She's like, oh, did you hear this today? And I'm like, I don't care.
It's aggravating.
And I'm not saying it because I know I'm not interested because my wife is interested, and I'm not trying to like blow her off.
Yeah.
I'm just using her as an example.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't give a fuck what anybody said. I already know what happened. I already know the answers. I already know what the outcome should be. Anything other than what the outcome that is 100% expected by me is bullshit, and we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. But up until then, I don't care what Crash Daddy said. I don't care what Elise said. I don't care what the lawyers had to say or what questions the jurors asked. I don't give a fuck. She's not guilty. She did whatever you are accusing her of. She didn't do it.
It's definitely going to be tomorrow, though.
I've been hearing that for 3 days.
Well,
This should have been done Friday.
My wife asked me on Friday, when do you think that we're going to hear back an answer? I said Tuesday. And I said and she said, why do you say that? Why not Monday? And I said, I guarantee you the jury's not going to go there and be like, well, we had 30 days of testimony. We probably shouldn't make a decision on day one.
Why?
Because they're fucking, everyone has to be like nice and like, let's go through the evidence and make sure we're serious. I thought definitely by today they would have an answer.
Listen, if you've been paying attention for the 30 days of testimony, you don't have to go through anything.
No,
you already heard it all.
I had my decision on Friday.
Yeah. I had my decision the second day they opened their mouths. Like, this was already cut and dry. I had my decision the last time you tried to try her in court and failed.
So if somehow this goes to hung jury, somehow, some way.
Great. Good for her. She's off.
No, they're not. They just try her again.
If they bring it, I think at that point, at some point, I think there has to be like some legal action that you could take. And I don't know this. Maybe somebody could educate me on this.
No, you can keep going after her.
They can keep the state. But why would the state do that? Just keep banging their head off the wall with a case
because
that
the state, if they get a conviction of her, avoids the embarrassment.
Right,
of
but
corruption.
But at this point, like now you're going after her a third time. Now this case is even more highly publicized. Now it's even more out there. Do you really think you're going to find people that aren't sympathetic towards her? That she's now just being bullied by the state and the prosecutors and these cops? And the way these cops, I mean, dude, the Proctor was fired.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The lead investigator.
Because of this case.
Because of this case, the way he handled it. Like, all this shit that's going to go down, if the state comes after her a third time after a hung jury, then okay, now it's like, all right, this is ridiculous. Like, this is beyond ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous now. Now we're talking beyond ridiculous. Now you're just trying to, now you're up to no good, and we know.
Yes.
And anybody who doesn't see that should be you should be very pissed off if you see that.
100%.
Because this is the legal system that you're subjected to as well. They could do this to you, me, anybody. Like, look, they threw Turtle Boy in jail for 30 days on some bullshit.
Yeah, made up charges.
Literally made up.
Witness tampering.
Yeah, literally just made something up, threw him in jail for 30 days because they could. Because the state didn't like what he had to say.
And the state didn't like what he was uncovering, too.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. I know Karen Reed didn't kill John O'Keefe.
Oh, I'm positive at this
Positive that is not the case. Now,
I'm not 99.9, I'm 100%.
What her role in that night in the events was, listen, man, that's a whole nother thing.
Yes, correct.
That's a whole different story. That's a whole different can of worms.
What, was she trying to attempt to sleep with Higgins there?
Yeah, was she banging somebody else? Was there a fight? Was there not a fight? Why did she drop him off there knowing that he was going to get his ass kicked by these guys, and they ended up accidentally taking it too far?
Correct.
You know, like
that. I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, she might not be completely innocent in this, but what I do know is that she didn't kill him with her car the way that they claim that she did. So there's that. Boom. Done. Now, step 2. Get on to figuring out who did kill him.
What do you think?
I think... I don't know. I don't know. Like, I can't speculate what happened to lead up to it. There was definitely a fight in the house.
Yes.
He was definitely outnumbered. I think the nephew or the kid had something to do with it.
Colin, yeah.
He went up and down a flight of stairs 3 or 4 times to the basement. Yep. We can see that on the watch. There was a struggle. There was a scuffle. I think they got into a fight. I don't think they intended to kill him.
No, neither do I.
But I think they did.
I think so,
and then they
too.
tossed him out on the lawn because if you remember that there was somebody from, I don't know if it was the plow driver or somebody else, recall, I believe they testified saying that they remembered.
It was Lucky, the plow driver.
That a call had come in that somebody had been hit by a plow
Yeah.
and was laying in the snow.
Yeah.
And they think that might have been the initial way that they were going to frame it, like, oh, we must have got hit by a plow. It was an accident. And then Karen showed up and was like, did I hit him? Did I hit him? And they were like, ooh, bingo.
Even better.
Even better. So,
well,
while I don't know why they killed him or what they did, that's what I want to know.
Yes.
I want to know why he got into the fight, why he got killed. Like, I want somebody, and I want this whole thread to come. I want to start pulling at threads and watch this whole thing come unraveled. How did they know? Who was connected to who? Why did they ask? Why did they get this judge? Why is this judge being such a fucking cunt? Like, how high does this go?
Heard the judge is retiring after this case.
Would you be surprised?
No, I basically someone.
I mean, honestly, I think at this
someone
point,
said they pretty much know it's confirmed that she's retired.
At this point, I think she should be disbarred if she's not.
Oh, 100%.
Like, this has been a sham.
Did you know
I deal with convicts every single day, and every single one of them is always sitting there telling me, "Oh man, I got fucked, bro. I got these racist ass cops that pulled me over, and then I got thrown in front of this fucking judge, and they were all in on it, and the cops and the judge and everything else, and blah 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 blah, and I got railroaded." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure you did." And then I see something like this happen, and I'm like,
maybe you did.
Fuck, maybe there is some truth to this. It's making me like second guess everything I thought I knew, and in a big way, because our legal system is supposed to be that's supposed to be sacred.
Yes, it's supposed to be when the prosecution's going after someone, the prosecution's job is to find and identify the person who committed the crime. Not it's that person. Let's do everything we can to make sure that person goes down for it.
Yeah.
That's what it's become.
And that's what this is. And this is like, and again, and I have friends from like outside of Massachusetts that are watching that, like, they've seen the documentary now. They've heard about the trial. They're following it, and they're like,
dude, John O'Keefe's friend, that little fat little like redheaded like puffy.
Oh,
dude.
I didn't see the documentary if he's in it. So
he's at the courthouse every day sitting in like the friends and family section. I've never wanted a person to be beat up so much. For like not even being like a family member, he's just a friend of John O'Keefe's, and he's like, "Oh, I know for sure Karen Reed did it." And he's like a little Pillsbury Doughboy guy.
Oh, even
I can't stand even looking at him.
the John O'Keefe's mother is sitting with like the Alberts and the product and all that, like whatever, like all the family, like even she thinks she did it, and it's like, dog, like you really like you watched all this unfold, and like, and again, it makes me wonder deep down, like, okay, maybe she's not totally innocent,
correct,
in this whole situation, but I know what they're accusing her of she didn't do.
I think because have asked me
there's
that.
this thing called evidence.
People ask me that too. People ask me like, "All right, who do you think did it?" And I said, "I think it's Colin and Brian because I think Brian was trying to bang Karen because they have all the text messages. They're trying to like sneaky meet up and hook up and all that stuff." And I said, "I think he just got like alcohol muscles, or he got tough when he was drinking, and he saw him out, and he was like, I'm gonna fuck John up in front of her and like impress her that way." And then I think that kind of happened, and then he's close with that family, and Colin is just like a ruffian anyway. Colin is just like, he just goes out, looks for trouble. There's a rumor he was like a coke dealer, and he's like used to doing shit like that. And
He's 17 years old. I think he's just a punk ass rich kid with family and friends in high places.
Right, and that's what I think too.
Which is the worst kind.
I think a fight got out of control. He got knocked the fuck out. He smashed his head off of like equipment, either gym equipment or the stairs in the basement or whatever. Gashed the back of his head, died and seized up. I think while he was seizing, the dog bit him because he was shaking on the floor, and the dog's fucking psycho anyway. The dog had like multiple things of attacking other dogs and just like randomly.
I mean, it's a canine. It's a highly trained canine, which is not exactly a pet, but
well, yes. And then I think,
like we talked about, not all dogs are pets.
And then there was a private investigator who I can't tell people why I know or how I know this. The first private investigator of this case said he heard from the source directly that Brian Higgins said, "Listen, all I did was pull the dog off." And that was Brian Higgins' quote in front of this private investigator who we didn't know was a private investigator for the family at that time. So I don't know if any of that's fucking true. It's all hearsay. It's all bullshit until otherwise proven. But all that story seems to jive together
that makes a lot of sense
But
given what we know about the evidence.
If he's trying to bang Karen Reed, and Karen Reed was like flirting with him, and then John goes, and then she lets John go in the house, and she's like, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go home. And then people are like, oh, maybe they were swingers and all this other stuff. There's all these theories you hear come out about this whole thing. I just think it was an accidental, like, I'm going to fuck you up because I heard you're a dick to Karen and I'm interested in Karen. And it was one of those things that got out of control. And then he dies by accident because he seized up. And they basically said, like, after he hit the back of his head, his body went into, like, an epileptic seizure.
Mm-hmm.
And he seized up and died from that blunt force trauma to the head. And that's why you have the puffy eyes and all this other face and all those other shit they found out about him. And I totally think it was an accident because then you have Lucky, the snowplow driver. He drives by at 2 o'clock. He remembers there's a Ford Focus parked in front of that spot, in front of that family's house. And he goes, I know exactly who that family is. I do that street. That's my street for the plow. And there was a Ford Focus there, and I didn't call it in because I knew the family. I knew they were cops, and I was doing them a favor by not calling it in and telling them to get the fucking Ford Focus out of the road. And he says, I am so confident there was not a body in the road because I would have seen it at 2:19 in the morning, whatever time it was.
Right.
And then the other science of the matter is that John O'Keefe's phone temperature stood at 50 degrees for 5 hours. 50 degrees for 5 hours. And then suddenly at like 5 o'clock in the morning, it was at 50 degrees, 45 degrees, 42 degrees, 38 degrees, 36. So then it seems to me they put him outside at 5 a.m. and they were like, you'll get rid of the body at 5 a.m. They just dumped it out there at that time because that's when the significant drop in temperature on his phone started.
Right, and we can see all that. And then you have the Google search of how long does it take to die in the cold and all this other shit.
I hated that explanation
and then the back and forth butt dials between
5.
5 butt dials, no voicemails, a 17-second conversation.
A returned butt dial.
A returned butt dial. Oh, well, we were having sex. It's like, okay, bro.
With your ass?
First of all, like, what were you, fully clothed? Like, usually when I have sex in my own house, I don't have my jeans on, all right?
He
like,
just pulls the zipper down.
Yeah, like, just pulls it out from through the zipper, and it's like...
It's like, still buttons.
It's just like the worst white people sex ever. He's like, okay, sweetie, just... I'm going to pull it out through the pee hole here, okay?
Multiple butt dials.
I'm not comfortable being naked, so I just want to pull it out. If you could just move those to the side. Thank you.
Oh my God.
There it is. Oh, okay, I'm finished. Thank you. That's it. No, nope. I don't buy any of it. I don't buy any of the story. And I have, like, friends that think that she did it, and they're like, they try to tell me, like, there's things you don't know about, and this and that. And I'm like,
okay.
Like what?
Tell me. I want to.
I can't tell you, and I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Like I said, I don't know if Karen Reed is completely innocent in this whole thing.
I think she knew John was walking into like an ass kicking or something like that. I potentially think that's the case.
I think so too. I think that she might have known that, and that would make a lot of sense given the relationships that she had with other people,
yep.
the alleged fight between her and John before they got there,
on fucking vacation or something together.
Yeah, listen, there was tons of shit to say that, like, this relationship, like, these two crazy kids probably weren't gonna make it, right?
Nope, not at all.
So, Judge Bev looks like she's DTF. Listen, Judge Bev, I cannot stand. She opens her mouth, but I don't know who's worse. The judge for me, or when what was the wife that Googled how long to die in the snow? Which
Jen McCabe.
When
Jen,
talking,
her voice. Oh my God!
It is the. You remember when one of our good friends' sisters who lived out west came home and was like, "I hate Boston accents," and I was like, "Yes, me too." And you guys our friend and you tried to defend our accent. Like, it's not that bad. I'm like, no, it is fucking terrible. I hate our accent. I hate it. It sounds horrid.
It's not that bad.
It's fucking awful.
I mean, up north more, the closer you get to Boston, and it is the most stereotypical. I find, like, sometimes I'll catch myself saying, like, the rolling of the R's and stuff like that.
Usually,
but it's not consistent.
The more I drink, the worse it gets. Like, all of a sudden, I'll just be like, hey, let's go get the car. And I'm like, and I'll catch it. I'm like, ew.
It's an
a
accident.
car. It's a car, you fuckwad.
Yeah.
Like, I'll catch, like, yeah, but even still, like, just saying, like, something like Wicked. People be like, what are you from, New England? Like, man, shut the fuck up. You don't know me.
You get real ghetto, real man. Shut your fucking mouth.
Like, when we go on vacation, like, you know, like, we'll be on a cruise ship or something, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that shit's wicked dope. And they're like, what are you, from the wing? I'm like, man, fuck you.
How come every
Like,
time?
well, what are you, a Patriots fan? I'm like, I will, motherfucker, I will.
You know, I love how every time I go on, we go somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Just guess." And they're just like, "New York," and I'm like, "No." I'm like,
I know, it's such a lazy
why New
guess,
York?
Too.
Like, did I say anything? Did I do this at any point? Like, hey, get the fuck out of here! I never did anything Italian-ish to be from New York.
And I'm Italian, and I don't even do that shit. But I mean, I'm mostly Irish, so which makes sense because Boston, Irish, you know.
Yes.
But again, I fit all the stereotypes of Boston, which is fucking terrible.
I can live anywhere from New Hampshire to Manhattan.
Oh my god! But Jen McCabe's voice is like nails on a chalkboard for me, dude.
Horrid.
Like, it drives me up a fucking wall. Like, I have to shut it off when she talks.
I was looking up sports scores at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, of course you were.
So why did you look up How's Long Dying of Cold?
That's what Karen told me to look up, so I did at 6:09 a.m.
But she sounded like, did you see that video? I don't know. I forget. I don't know if it was New Bedford Guide that posted it or somebody else posted it today. But it was like a Karen in Plymouth, like harassing ICE agents, deporting people. And it sounded just like Jen McCabe. And I'm like, I have never wanted someone to get pepper sprayed for interfering with like professional police business, like in the worst way. Like, I wish we could just start doing it. Like, just, you know, like these people that are like, I'm filming you. It's like, cool, bitch, go the fuck over there. Like, this isn't for you to be fucking around
It's
in.
public. People got to learn about public and private, too.
Well, yeah.
Okay? That's another big thing. People don't know shit about public and private.
No, they
People are
don't.
like, I'm standing in front of a business. Where are you? Are you on the business's private-owned grass, or are you on a public sidewalk?
Yeah, because there's a difference. Because there is like a and then there is like, it's like I was watching a video earlier of this 22-year-old girl who got trespassed from a bar, and the cops were like, "You need to leave. You've been trespassed." Which anybody who's worked in the bar service industry knows that, like, basically you got barred. Then they'll trespass you. They'll call the cops and they'll be like, "This person's not allowed on the property anymore."
Yep.
And
I
now
asked them to leave. They wouldn't leave.
Now you're asking them to leave. Now they won't leave. Anyway, it's like it's taking it up a notch, but it's usually only reserved for like problem people.
Yeah.
And this bitch is just like arguing with the cops, like, "Why am I being trusted? I know all my best friends are here." And it's like, oh my god, bitch! Like, you don't fucking get it, do you?
I love that I've been trained on this professionally now. So I can tell people, I'm like, if I ever have someone that comes to my place of work and they're like, "I'm going to film you," I'm like, well, technically you can't. Like, I'm going to ask you to stop. If you don't stop, I'm going to end the conversation. And then if you still don't leave, I will call the police then. And then that's just my normal routine now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it.
Very easy. And there's no escalation. And they're like, well, if I'm going to go outside and film from the sidewalk. And I'm like, you have every right to do
By
that.
all means,
You can do
right ahead.
150 times Zoom. I can't stop you.
Mm-hmm.
It's public. Like, I can put the shade down. You're blocked. Like, it's all I can do. That's it.
Gotcha, bitch. Yeah,
That's it.
But yeah, these people, like, anyway, the accent thing, it fucking goes up my ass sideways. I can't stand it.
I just can't stand her.
And there is just, not for
The
nothing,
cockiness of it
like,
all.
isn't that it, dude? Like, the arrogance
Yes.
of the prosecution and the witnesses that the
Yes.
prosecution brought,
Yes.
whether it be the family or anything like that, the overwhelming sense of, like, you can't touch us is just, like, dude, it is infuriating.
It is a punch in the stomach and in the dick at the same time. To be that arrogant and to be like, when you're answering questions on redirect and you have the defense talking to her and just saying, so you knew this man was dying on the front lawn of your sister-in-law. You know your brother-in-law is a first responder and can give life-saving techniques to save this man. You were 30 feet from his bedroom window. That never crossed your mind to call him? They were sound asleep. Why would I wake them up? There's a man dying on your front lawn. The whole neighborhood is police officers. Active and currently retiring police officers.
It is just absolute. It's
why would I bother them?
Everything again. This goes back to what we said earlier. Like, all the testimonies, all the facts, all the recreations. None of it adds up. And if it ain't adding up, you must be subtracting. And this shit just doesn't click, dude. It just reeks of a bunch of overprivileged, arrogant police officers and people in law enforcement who are using their connections and their influence to get themselves out of trouble, which is wicked funny to me because how many fucking times do we hear people accuse the police of doing this exact thing?
Yes.
And then those same people that are accusing the police of, like, defund the police and fuck the police, most of them are the ones that are like, Karen Reed did it.
Yeah, I
and
know.
you're like, wait, what? Like,
it makes no sense.
No, we have a perfect example of the thing you've been accusing the cops of doing forever.
Yes.
And now you're like, come on, man, dude, she did it, bro.
It makes no sense to me. No sense.
I'll tell you what, if you change the races of a few of the people in this thing, this would be a national story.
Correct. Absolutely.
Over the top.
Absolutely.
National, like, I'm talking OJ level, Rodney King level national.
Speaking of OJ, who's OJ's main lawyer that passed?
Kardashian.
No.
Cochran.
Cochran, thank you. So to steal line from Cochran.
If the glove does not fit, you must acquit. Look at the monkey. Look at the silly little monkey.
If the Lexus didn't hit, you must have quit.
I mean, boom.
I mean, and it's been proven many times over. The Lexus did not hit him.
That little rhyme got OJ off. Let's be honest. Like, that was the one that sold the public. Like, they won the court of public opinion that day.
It was so funny
that was
because
it.
they've talked to the jury many times since then, and the jury's like, "Yo, when we heard that, we were like, he's right." I was like, a cat in the hat rhyme was the bullet that sealed the case.
Like my dad said, you don't know how stupid people are until you sit on a jury with them.
Well, they talked to one of the. I love the most recent OJ Netflix documentary. I think it was like 6 months ago now, and they talked to one of the surviving members of, because some of the people have passed away of the OJ thing, and it was a younger black man, and he's obviously like in his 60s now, or maybe even like early 70s. And he goes, I remember leaving the stand that day after saying not guilty for OJ, and I put my hand up in my fist and I said, "Black power, my brother," and OJ was just like OJ was like the most whitest like dude of all time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, like, thanks for saying not guilty. Like, did not know how to respond at all.
Thanks for letting me get away with murder.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And then it was just like, and then they asked him if he like felt bad about his decision like all these years later, and the guy's like, not really. Like, he was like totally okay with that.
You want to talk about a case that was fucked from Jump Street, like the way the LAPD handled the
That's another
tampering of
case
the
of-
evidence,
but
like all
that's-
the bullshit that got into it, like
That's horrific. And if it comes to light where it's another situation now where the prosecution does a horrific job,
yep.
same as this, and it shows that Karen Reed actually did do it many years later, and you can't double jeopardy her, that's on the state then again.
If it comes out again, I don't think it'll ever come out. Not this way. It'll never come out that she did that. She hit him
Right.
with the car the way they claimed.
Right.
If they wanted to pin it on her, they should have pinned it on it. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they could have done differently. But I think this was a drunken fight that got out of hand. Somebody got KO'd, fell, hit their head, whatever, didn't survive, and then the cover up began. And that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, I think it's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And the only difference between this case and any other case where this happens is these people all happen to be high-ranking or highly influential people within their community's law enforcement.
Right.
So, like, they refer to the judge as Auntie Bev. You know what I mean? Like, this is a judge they go to when they need a conviction.
Right, that's pretty bad.
Which I just the thought of that alone pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh, we're gonna get in front of this judge because we know we have a better shot at a conviction because she knows us.
Yeah.
As if that should have any impact on anything. Like, no, a judge should be there to be a neutral arbiter. Like, that should be it. They're there to just to bring up, let the jury decide, and then you bring forth the sentencing, and you arbitrate in the meantime.
Wasn't
Like-
the Albert's text message chain back and forth saying, who's going to try the case? And the response back was, dude, it's Auntie Bev. Who do you think we're going to whose house do you think we're going to bury you under after we kill you?
Yeah.
Like, just the family joking back and forth, again, about killing each other and shit like that. But it's Auntie Bev
Yeah.
is running the case.
Come on. Really?
That's where the nickname came from.
Again, and I hate the fact that this makes me, like, second-guess everything I think I knew. and I hate that it makes me like go back and like listen to these stories from actual convicts that are in state doing state time, and it makes me wonder, like, man, maybe they did get railroaded.
I mean,
did they get in front of Auntie Bev and the Canton Police Department? Because if they did, maybe they're not as guilty. Maybe they're guilty of something, but maybe they're not as guilty of what they're being charged with.
I think that's what the state worries about ultimately, is where it goes from here. I think the FBI is waiting for this case to conclude before they open up their own investigation and go after somebody.
I hope the whole thing. I hope it blows the whole fucking Canton PD, Boston PD, state police. I hope it blows the whole. I hope it blows the roof off the whole thing.
If it does, and a bunch of people go down, you're talking about a ton of convicts getting appeals now.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it, but you can't eliminate the problem until you get to the root of it.
Yeah.
And if the root of it is crooked cops and a crooked judicial system, then that is, to me, that's a bridge too far. Like that undermines the very fabric of our society. And we can't have that. Cannot have that. You cannot live in a free country where the police and the judicial system can work together to, where they don't need a crime. They just say, find me the person and I'll find you the crime.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what they did. They did it to Donald Trump. Not to bring, politics into it.
No. I know the correlation.
The 36 felonies that he was convicted of were all bullshit ass felonies.
Yeah.
And they none of them did anything.
It didn't stick anyway.
None of them stick, and they're all bullshit. But they did it. They were like, find me the man and I'll find you the crime. That's not how our judicial system is supposed to work. So
no, it's not supposed to work that way. You're 100% right. But I do think final words on this is it does come down tomorrow. It's by lunchtime. Lunchtime, they have a conviction. They read the whole thing. It's very dramatic. I personally think after today, they go not guilty on all 3 counts. I think this whole DUI, OUI thing, I think that's just going to piss off the rest of the remaining people, and they're just like, no.
See, I still think there's just one ignorant ass moron in there that has already made up their mind that she was guilty before they got on the jury.
Yeah.
Then they got selected for the jury, and now their ego won't let them be like, oh, you know what? I was wrong. Yeah. She's not guilty. So they got to pin something on her.
Correct.
Well, she did something. She was OUI, and we know that. And
she said it on the HBO documentary. She said she was drinking, and she drove home.
Oh, do we know that? Did she get caught? No. Like I said, I could be OUI. I could be OUI this afternoon, and I didn't get caught. So who fucking cares? What I say right now doesn't fucking matter.
I love the Bedford guys watching this at the police department's like, oh, fucking Christ.
Yeah. I drove drunk today. What are you gonna do about it? You didn't catch me. I mean, fucking Christ. My neighbor who lives a fucking 4 houses down rear-ended my fucking car that was parked in front of my house.
Oh my
which
God.
I believe would have been his 5th OUI.
Yeah.
And he was OUI, and the cop was like, well, did you see him hit the car? And my wife was like, well, I saw him backing up away from the car and going around it. Like I saw him contacting and go around. But did you see him hit the car? My wife's like, no, I didn't. I wasn't looking out the window, like, scanning. You know what I mean? Like, when I heard a bang, I looked outside. So
backing out of the vehicle being smashed.
Yeah, and the cop was like,
count.
But because the guy went down the street, parked his car, took the keys out of the ignition, the cop was like, nothing I can do.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like, bro, it's almost shift change. Like, I don't really feel like dealing with this. Like, sorry about your car, but, like, fuck you.
Oh, my God.
And then, whatever. It is what it is. But the point is like, that guy, the damage on his car matched up to the damage on my car. There was witnesses seeing him pull away from my car after they heard a loud bang.
Yeah.
And they still didn't do anything about it.
That's unbelievable.
So if all that can happen, how can they go back, 2 years ago and be like, well,
3 almost.
She was at a bar drinking and then drove home. And even though she made it home safely, they claim she hit this guy, so she must have been OUI. Even though they claim she hit him and we know he didn't. She didn't, because every forensic expert in this whole fucking case has been like, nope, didn't happen. There was no impact with the vehicle here. There was definitely some dog bites and some injuries consistent with getting your ass whipped, but not a car accident. And not for nothing, you ever tried to reverse at 30 miles an hour in a snowstorm?
In the snow?
Listen, man.
The person who made that up, have you ever driven before?
I'm an excellent driver, okay? I know how to drive a vehicle. Yeah. I know, Like, I'm not one of those guys that's going to go to the boat ramp and, like, struggle to get my trailer into the water straight or anything like that. Like, I know how to do all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
You know, I know I know the basics of operating a motor vehicle, as most men do. You mean to tell me that a woman, not disparaging to women, but we are better drivers than you as men, just one of the many things we're better than you at. You mean to tell me this bitch was able to go fucking 30 miles an hour in reverse in a snowstorm?
Only 50 feet, though, and 50 feet.
Oh, so she was able to get up to 30 miles an hour in 50 feet, which is, I mean, unless she was in an 800 horsepower front-wheel drive car for some reason that was built to go in reverse instead of forward, how she was able to do that? I mean, did it have skids on it?
But it was snowing, so that helped it.
It must have, right? Because snow is very grippy, as we all know. You know, I know every time I go to the drag strip and I'm gonna like race my car, I'm like, oh man, I really hope it snows today.
Oh man, I hope.
Ooh, smell that? Smells like snow, boys.
I
We
rubbed
might
some
be
ice
in
on the
for it.
track. I'm like,
Oh yeah, let's get some moisture on the track and freeze it. That'll make it really grippy, because then we can get up to speed like that. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. This bitch went 30 miles an hour at an angle, cut the wheel, and hit this dude.
No tire marks in the grass, so she kept the grass mint.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but unless she's fucking Guy Ritchie, like, or the guy from the Guy Ritchie BMW commercial from back in the day with Madonna, like, what
You mean Jason Statham, the transporter?
Is she Danica Patrick? Is she? Because she's clearly a better driver than her.
I mean, yeah, it's
like, I mean, the shit just doesn't fucking add up, bro.
And then was able to get back to his place, watch his niece and nephew, and then make like 800 phone calls to him, calling him a piece of shit all night.
Yeah,
because she thinks he's cheating. She's cheating.
He's cheating on her.
Yeah,
yeah. Meanwhile, she's cheating on him. But anyway, neither here nor there. All right, that's our Karen Reed piece. We spent
that was a good hour.
Spent an hour on Karen Reed tonight.
Yeah, but
probably an hour. Well, you know what though? That makes up for all the time we haven't talked about this case. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
we've kept pretty private about it and pretty quiet about it because we don't want every fucking personal opinion out there. But I feel so strongly about this. It's just like there's no single person
and the longer
who's
it goes
told me
on,
a single thing that makes any sense that says she did it.
The longer it goes on, the more absurd it becomes.
100%.
Like, it's just like, okay, like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
We all know this didn't happen. Fuck off.
No kidding.
Come on. 774-992-8702. Row 1, seat 1, Joey Fats Radio.
That poor dog.
Poor
rehomed.
Yeah.
Rehomed into death.
Yeah, rehomed to euthanasia. Welcome to Row 1, seat 1, Joey Fats Radio.
No, you don't have to open now. An hour later. Welcome to Row 1, seat 1.
Yeah, well,
this was just a monologue.
This was the opening monologue. It was all Karen Reed stuff. So if you want to listen back to it, you can do that once we're done. Or you can also follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Prime, wherever you get your podcasts. We are on there and available. Make sure to give us a like and a follow on our Row 1 Seat 1 Facebook page as well. What do we got for sports tonight, Sean?
We got to talk about Raffy.
So let's dive.
I can't even fucking believe this.
Let's dive right into the fact that the Red Sox,
cheapest pieces of shit
hate
in the
their
world.
fucking fans. They took y'all for a ride, us for a ride, because I was one of them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I was a Red Sox fan my whole life up until 2016, 2017.
Yeah, you started giving up around there.
18 maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Whenever I got sick and fucking tired of John Henry telling me that I was a piece of fucking shit for being a middle-aged white male.
And you're cheap. You're not spending enough at the games.
And and I'm a cheap fuck as well. Oh, and they got Kirk and Callahan kicked off of WEEI and fired. So that was
that's true too.
That was the other part of it. That was when I denounced the Red Sox. I said I'll never spend another dime on them until John Henry dies or sells the team, preferably the former. But I will never. I won't support him. I don't. My allegiance was always with the Red Sox first and the Astros second. I just simply moved the Astros into my one spot. Don't know that I'll ever actually relinquish that now because the Astros are just kind of a more aesthetically pleasing team, but nonetheless, and it is the place of my birth, so I have that going for me.
I just haven't watched. I haven't watched the Red Sox at all last year. I haven't watched a game this year. I'm going to continue that. I'd be lying if I said I didn't keep up with what the team does online. But I don't support them by giving them money
Yeah, I mean,
or viewership.
Yeah, I don't either. Even if like the Red Sox, even if the Red Sox were on, like they were on, I think Sunday Night Baseball against the Yankees, I didn't watch.
Neither did I.
I was like, I'm not watching it.
I want to watch the kid Roman Anthony because I love prospects. And
Don't care. Get traded. Go somewhere else. I'll watch you. Unless it gets to the playoffs and you happen to be playing the Astros, then I'll be forced to watch you. But
this sounds really fucked up. But I've gone into this like rage online about the Devers thing. Not even because it had to be Devers, but because the way they treated it, it just infuriates me. And it just reignites the fire of how much I hate ownership. And I'm literally rooting for what's his name, Henry, to be gone or dead at this point. I think he has to die to get rid of the team. Legitimately think he has to die to get rid of this team.
He's just
because he's not gonna sell the team,
No.
and he's just penny pinching the shit out of this team, and it's absurd.
Yes, I agree.
Sorry, I was also reading.
Sorry, yeah, I just made a little whoopsie. I was okay. There it goes. All right.
No problem.
Thought I fucked something up worse than I did.
But the biggest thing is they traded an all-star athlete that, first of all, you're the ones to tell him in the offseason you're not good enough to play first or third. You're just a DH. Mm-hmm. You're a defensive liability. So he's like, oh, I'm dog shit. Okay, you gave me $300 million, but I'm dog shit.
Right.
Then immediately you go sign Alex Bregman, who he's been hurt, but when he's not hurt, is played out of his mind and played incredibly well. Great player from Houston. And the other big thing that really bothers me is that you've had all this time. The Red Sox just came off of winning 5 straight. You swept the Yankees. You've won 8 out of your last 10. You're making some headway. You're actually in the wild card playoff spot. And you trade away your best hitter, Rafael Devers, for nothing because he's upset the way basically the way he was being treated. And then you hear through the grapevine, the Red Sox do absolutely nothing. They just don't comment it on all. And then the Red Sox sources start leaking out, oh, he was actually a clubhouse cancer. Yeah. Oh, he was actually being a big bitch.
Yeah, didn't they do this with another beloved fan favorite, Manny Ramirez?
Every fucking time. Every time.
It's like, come on, give me a break, bro.
The cheapest, most dog shit organization. And I'm glad Buster Olney had the balls to come out and say, the Red Sox contacted 2 teams. They did not contact every executive. That's a lie. They contacted he had heard the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta said they were interested, and the Red Sox asked for some combination of prospects, and Atlanta said no, flat out. And then there was a different deal where they said Atlanta said we'll give you some prospects that you do want, but you have to eat some of the contract. John Henry then stepped in and said, forget it, we're not doing that deal because he would have to give up money. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly the Giants said, we'll take the entire contract, but we're going to give you these low-level prospects. And John's like, take that deal.
Yep. It was all about the money.
Does not give a shit about the fans, about you.
He hates you.
Doesn't care at all.
He hates you. He hates you. Ownership, the Red Sox ownership fucking hates you. And this is what I've been getting at for the last, 7 years now.
Pathetic.
And this is why I disown the team, and I've been saying this, and I've been on this fucking stand, sitting here right behind this microphone for 7 fucking years, denouncing the team, putting on a fucking Yankees hat and saying I will root for the Yankees every goddamn time they play the Red Sox until that motherfucker is dead or not a part of this team anymore because he fucking hates you. You could see the writing on the wall. They got lucky as fuck in 2018 and they have not given a fuck since.
We traded away literally Chris Sale, who was dominating last year and this year.
Crushing it.
Mookie Betts, who's won 2 World Series
MVP
with the Dodgers.
Candidate, multiple World Series now.
I know he has some scary health issue right now, but that's totally besides the point. And now Rafael Devers, who is 29.
Who was your best player?
Best hitter. He doesn't have to be best player, but best hitter on the team.
Oh,
and then
6-1.
And then the prospects we got back are nobodies. People you've never heard of, you'll never hear of.
One of our friends or listeners of the show, who's a diehard Giants fan, was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, we got it for they're 5th and 6th best prospects.
We just fucking fleeced y'all.
Yeah.
He's like, these dudes suck.
This is like Luka type deal.
Bro, it's bad.
It is that bad.
It is a bad deal. But again, it goes to show you the Red Sox don't give a flying fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about your fans. They don't care about fucking winning.
And
John Henry cashed in. They went all in 03 and 04. They went all in again and got another one in 07. 13 they were, again, a not lucky team, but they just got, David Ortiz went fucking ape shit.
And that was the Boston
postseason.
bombing team. They
Yep,
rallied
that was the
around that.
marathon.
Johnny Gomes, Napoli, Beckett.
Right.
Well, Beckett with 13?
No, Beckett was 07. Beckett was long gone in 13.
Yes, you're right. 13,
Lester was even gone in 13, I think.
13 was who's the anchor of that 13 team? Oh my God, why can't I think of it? Was it
John
Sale?
Lester? I mean, no, wasn't it John, Big John? Was it Lackey? No.
No.
Who was on the third? I forget.
I don't even remember. That was 12 years ago.
You know what's crazy is I watched pretty much like every fucking postseason game too.
Big John. I forgot about John Lackey.
That was like 09, I think. That was like the end of that run. That was like, yeah, okay.
Remember, Red Sox fans couldn't stand him until the very end.
Oh, what am I doing? This is not what I wanted.
But I'm sure the Red Sox had a really good point of getting rid of him if he was a locker room cancer.
But he wasn't, though. He
but
wasn't.
then you couldn't wait to the deadline where a team was going to need a big bat for the postseason run, and some team was going to overpay you for a big bat.
Yeah, John Lackey, John Lester, Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy was another good one. Okay,
Felix Dubront was on that team.
Holy shit.
Andrew Bailey, wasn't he like a reliever?
Yeah, he was dog shit.
Nah, I thought he was all right.
Nah, I don't like it.
Koji Uehara.
Uehara. Oh, he was the closer.
Yep. You remember because who was it that got hurt? That was our closer that was supposed to be nasty that year. He got hurt, and then Koji came in.
It wasn't Kimbrel, was it? No, Kimbrel was much later.
No, Kimbrel came later.
Can't remember who
Kimbrel wasn't on this team. Kimbrel was 18, I think.
Yeah, Koji was just ended up being like a nasty closer at the end.
Yeah, I think it was another Asian guy. I thought was another Japanese pitcher.
I don't remember.
Let me see if I can find.
It was Taka Michinoku.
Oh, here we go. Full season roster. Let's see. Where the hell is? All right, let me just go through it here real quick.
Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Was it Matsuzaka?
No, it was not Matsuzaka. He was already like done with baseball at that point. He fizzled out so fast.
Standard fielding.
Okajima. Thank you, Hilchi.
Okajima, yes, that's what it was.
Wow.
Yeah. Freaking with the okie doke, right? That's
Yeah.
right, yeah. That's what it was, Okajima.
Jesus Christ. You were right with another Asian guy.
I knew it was another
forgot
Asian.
all about
I
Okajima until
I
you just
knew
said
he
it.
had Asian on Asian shit. And then
careful.
There was there was somebody else I feel like on that team that was like pretty decent that I like, or somebody that I liked.
Well,
I
that
should
13 team was pretty dominant at the end.
say. Yeah, they went on a fucking run, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
they
went
were-
on a serious run.
Yeah, they killed it.
and
in
I
the
mean,
end.
obviously Ortiz went just mental.
Destroyed it in the playoffs.
I mean, what did he bat like 780 or something like
it was
that?
like, it was something stupid. Like he was like,
he had those,
18 for
he had those like
24.
lime green gloves on and shit. Like
yeah.
the dude was unbelievable. I mean, Ortiz. That was the year that Ortiz anchored his spot in history as the greatest DH, the most clutch hitter of all time.
And he became like a legit like locker room like clubhouse like leader because he would like rally the team when they were down. He'd be like, "Pull your ass!" and scream at the team in the dugout.
Yeah.
And then who was the manager? Was it wasn't Francona? It was the dude that was Francona's assistant, and he had
John
Farrell.
Farrell,
Yeah, it was Farrell at
Yeah.
the time, and Farrell like, let it happen.
who
He
I
was like-
really liked.
I liked Farrell too, and I thought Farrell.
See, I thought when
He
they
got robbed.
when they brought Farrell in, I really liked John Farrell. I really loved it. Loved the hiring. I remember my mother-in-law asking me like, "Oh, what do you think at the beginning of the 2013 season?
Yeah.
What do you think of John Farrell?" I said, "I think he's the perfect hire." I said, "I don't think they get the horses this year, but I said next year they're going to be a legit World Series contender."
Yeah.
And then they just went on that tear, and
Yeah.
they obviously. But again, Okajima gets hurt. You're not expecting Koji Uehara to come out. And,
He was your eighth. He was just set up,
yeah, he was, and dude came in and just was lights out.
and then he would most
And
of
like
the time
Hilgi pointed out, Lester was unbelievable in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that year.
And then you were right. Ortiz, 688 in the World Series and 750 on base percentage.
The 750. Okay, I was the on
Just-
base percentage
The dude was just on base
every time
75% of the time.
because you couldn't pitch to him. If you pitched to him, you were just begging to get hurt. He was unreal, dude. Like, I mean, I know 04 was like his coming out
Yeah.
and 07 he was dirty as well. Like there was a lot of moments in the 07 playoffs that I think Manny kind of stole more of the spotlight in 07 from the
did.
big hits.
Yeah.
Because that's the one of him standing there at the plate like this.
Yeah.
Against the Angels. But Ortiz was just still Ortiz in 07. He just didn't have like the crazy. I mean, he was still clutch, but not as clutch as like 04 was legendary shit. Like shit you might never see again, legendary.
Mm-hmm.
And then 13, he followed it up. You know what I mean? To do it almost 10 years later was like, oh, okay, like, nah, we might need to reconsider here, like how we look at DHs going forward because David Ortiz rewrote the book.
Yes, big
You know what I
time.
mean? Like he was like, this is why DHs belong in the Hall of Fame as a DH.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, because you
Absolutely.
can't possibly keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
No, there's no way he's staying.
Even though I think, like numbers wise, Manny was more clutch in the postseason over their careers. Manny had like more RBIs and like the clutch spots.
Manny's
like,
not getting in though.
Manny won't. Well, because
He's gonna be one of the blackballed guys.
Manny fell out of favor with the media. He fell out of favor with the Red Sox because his contract. He was, became like kind of a. I don't know if he became a diva. Again, we don't know. I mean, we remember like there was a story of him choking like the travel assistant or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about that. That we don't know if that was true.
And he used to
then
flush full face gloss down the toilet to block him
just
intentionally.
to block him intentionally. That is such a con move. But then like he would like it's actually literally is. But he was like he fell out of favor. But then again, now we look back at it, we're like, did we really hate? Was Manny that much of a problem? Because if you remember that 08 ALCS, we took Tampa to Game 7.
Yeah.
And goddamn, the end of that line, it was Julio Lugo with Varitek, and I forget who was hitting ninth, but it was like as soon as
I'm pretty sure Lugo was 9.
as soon as 7, 8, 9 came up, you were like, okay, there's 3 outs.
Yeah.
Just get on, like, please God, get us on to the next inning without any damage.
Yeah, no, wasn't that Lugo? That was the Varitek Saltalamacchia combo.
No, Saltamaglia
no.
was there. Salty was there, but I'm trying to remember. It was Varitek and Lugo for sure. 7, 8. Or 8, 9. I don't remember what exact
Lugo
order.
was always 9.
But I remember my brother and I watching that ALCS against Tampa and being like, every time the end of the lineup came up, we had
Automatic
nothing,
outs.
and we're like, wow, you know what would be a great thing to have right now? A guy like I don't know Manny Ramirez, who we traded away at the deadline that year, like still got to the ALCS without him, but god damn, we could have gone back to back 07, 08.
Yes. Yeah.
If they hadn't traded Manny, if they had fucking sucked it up and figured it out, we would have gone back. The Sox would have gone back to back.
But those situations, you understood why they traded those guys at that time. I understand today,
and fair point, Hilchey Beckett wasn't 100% healthy at that point either, but they still got the game. But the pitching wasn't the problem. It wasn't like we were losing games, 9-3.
No.
We were losing games 4-2.
Yes.
And it's like, god damn, we'd leave the bases loaded 3 fucking 4 or 5 times. And you're like, what the fuck?
I do like that you see LOB at the end of games now a lot more in baseball, though. Like, you'll see at the end of games, you'll see, like, hits, runs, errors, LOB. And I'm like, man, you know what? Left on base is such a good stat that people don't cover.
It's like one of the it's like the Belichick always talked about the hidden yards.
Yeah.
Punts, kicks, all that kind of
Absolutely.
special teams yards.
Yep.
That's what LOB is, dude. Then that is a fucking killer, bro.
But I like that they added that at the end of games
It's driving down in the red zone and throwing a pick in the end. It's driving down the red zone, throwing a pick in the end zone and not scoring.
Yeah, 100%.
Every time.
100%.
Or you go down and you settle for 3. You're kicking a field goal from the 4-yard line.
You don't win games not scoring in the end
Nope.
zone. But for the Red Sox endeavors, I am just reignited with my fire of just absolutely hating the ownership group. And then waiting until last night, a full day and a half has gone by since they've traded Devers. You have Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow going on a Zoom call with the media at 8 p.m.
Cringe. And I hate that word. And I hate to use it because
And
it's
they
so.
can mute and block and deny any questions they want.
Yep.
And it was the biggest
zero accountability.
bullshit
No one's being held.
move.
This is why I said fuck the Boston Red Sox when I did.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the writing on the wall. And I saw this back in like 2013. And even that 2013 team, like I was all in on the 2013 team until about halfway through the year. And then I started seeing things and hearing things, and I'm like, I don't like the way this is going.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, whatever. It's ownership. They don't dictate the guys on the field because I loved Mike Napoli. I loved David Ortiz. What was his name? The kid we got from
Johnny Gomes?
Johnny Gomes was great.
Because he was from the A's at that point.
Well, then who else was the other kid that we got that came? He played for the Yankees. He played for us. The one that was walking around shirtless, and was it Napoli?
Napoli was the one walking around shirtless.
Yeah, that was my okay.
Was Napoli playing for the Yankees before us?
Yes, I think it was right before,
Briefly.
right after. He was the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
No, Nick Swisher. Sorry, Nick Swisher.
Nick Swisher was
Nick
with the
Swisher
Yankees.
was my fucking boy back then. Loved Nick Swisher. He was my dude, bro. I loved that guy. He was he was a utility player. He could do everything. And he could play first base, left field, right field, wherever you wanted him, you put him in. And he was a pretty productive hitter, and he was one of my favorite players. He was on that team.
Man, Steven Drew was on that team.
Yeah, Steven Drew.
The fucking unknown brother. Well, he was the shortstop, but he ended up being like really good at after JD was gone.
So
Dude, this is depressing. Steven Drew is only like 2.5 years older than I am, and he's been retired for like 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking
I
depressing.
know, right? It's like, goddamn, where did we fuck up, Sean?
Dude, Daniel Bard is younger than all of us.
Oof. I mean, listen, I'm at the age now where most pro athletes are younger than me because
Fair.
most pro athletes that are my age are retired. So
Wow, Xander
there's
was
very
on that.
few that are older than me.
Xander was on that team at
Bogey.
20 years old.
Yeah, Bogey was there. He was like a fill-in. You know what I mean? Like he was like a game's over, come in and wasn't he like one of those like wasn't he like a Pokey Reese, like a defensive guy that would come in like certain situations?
Jared
Like-
Saltalamacchia. All these guys are still super young. Jose Iglesias is still super young. That's crazy.
See, Hilchey brings up a good point. He says,
Alfredo Aceves. Fuck that guy.
Hilchey said ownership started losing his confidence when they lowballed John Lester. And they only offered him 5 years for $120 million, but then they doled out $220 for David Price.
No, it was even worse than that. It was 4 years, $80 million. I thought 120 was.
I'm gonna trust Hilchey on this one.
Well, he's probably right. But
Yeah,
I could have swore it was only a 4-year deal.
The man is a walking encyclopedia.
But I thought it was a 4-year deal because they didn't trust him because of his cancer issue. They were worried about it coming back.
We offered the laughable 4 years, $70 million.
Ah,
So
see,
you were close, yeah.
I thought it was 480. 470 is even worse.
It is.
What the fuck?
It absolutely is. Like look, when it comes to history stuff, there's very few people I trust more than Mike, even over myself. But
Oh, I remember. Yeah, David Price, and Panda. I think that was my most hated offseason.
but you, me, and Mike were on the air
I hated it.
the day they signed the Panda.
I was like, I hated all those moves. I was like,
We
I hate
said
all these
we
people.
that was in my old apartment
Yeah.
in New Bedford.
Yeah.
And you, me, and Mike were doing that show when they signed Pablo Sandoval.
I was pissed.
And you went fucking off the rails.
I was like, what a piece of shit.
you fucking hated it. And
I hated Price too.
I didn't hate it as much as you. I didn't love it. I don't remember if Mike liked it or not. I don't think Mike liked it either. I think we all looked at the price tag and were like,
That's a fat guy you're telling to lose weight.
because he had that run with
Giants.
with the Giants when they beat the Royals
Yeah, and that was it.
in the World Series, and he had that like nifty little play on third base where he did a little twirly, catchy, throwy thing, and everybody was like, "Oh, look how nimble the fat guy is," and we were like, "No, that's stupid. We shouldn't be doing that."
Yeah.
And then we went and overpaid the fuck out of him. Again, it didn't matter because 4 years later they won a World Series
They signed
without
Chris
him.
Farley. He was essentially Chris Farley.
Yeah, but it was just it was a giant waste of money. But again, I don't care if ownership wants to waste money. It's their money. But don't come to me, don't waste money on Pablo Sandoval and David Price, and then trade away Mookie Betts and Rafael Devers and come to me crying poverty.
Yes, and then
You can't have it both ways.
and then raise ticket prices and tell me that it's a bad time and No, you can't have it both ways. You can't have we have like the third or fourth highest prices in America for baseball, and we have poverty team out there every year.
That's why I always tell people, I'm like, you can't pay me to go to Fenway to watch a game.
No, I hate Fenway.
Even if the tickets are free, it's still $1,000 night.
I hate this. I hate the seats. I hate the experience. I hate staring at center field and having to look left the whole time or look right the whole time. It sucks.
The only way I will go to Fenway in the immediate future is if somebody offers me like monster seats for free or dirt cheap. And that's it, because it's the only place It's one of like 3 places in America that I want to sit to watch a sporting event that I haven't yet.
Yeah.
The other one is the front stretch of Talladega and Mile High. Other than that, there's really nowhere I want to go. Like Lambeau's up there. I'd love to see Lambeau someday, but it's not like I'm like breaking down the door. Like, no, like I'm actively trying to get to Talladega and Denver either this fall or next spring. Or obviously one will be in the other, but respectively. And the only other place that I would love to sit to watch a game is on the Monster.
Yeah,
Like, because I want to get,
eventually.
and I would love to have, like, the next generation or, like, the next coming of Willie Mo Pena come up and just hit an absolute fucking laser beam straight at me.
Man, Willie Mo Pena. Speaking of guys, just freak athletes.
Dude, like, what was that, like 06?
It was like 06, 07.
06,
yeah.
07 with the Willie Mo Pena years. Like, what a beast that dude was for,
Dude,
like,
if
5
there,
minutes.
if there was 100 men versus a gorilla, I'd be like, I think I only need Willie Mo Pena against that gorilla. Those guys might just duke it out.
We could get 500. If we get 100 Willie Mo Penas against the gorilla, I'm taking the Willie Mo Penas.
That's a hell of a team.
Big facts, bro.
Yo, the Boston
But-
Willie Mo Penas.
Yo, for real. Because I think, because then he was around. We were like, oh shit, now we got a third option behind
Yeah.
Ortiz and Manny, and we're like, fuck, this is gonna be sick.
But then you heard him talk, and you saw him play defense, and you're like, oh, he's brain dead. He is the guy from Major League.
He could hit
Pedro
the shit out of a
Serrano.
ball, but he was not
Only
great,
a fastball.
Yeah, not a great baseball player, but neither here nor there. Anyway, but no, I'm with you, Sean. I can't listen to John Henry continue to cry poverty every year, sign stupid players to stupid contracts, trade away our best homegrown talent, and then be like, I don't know why we can't compete. Like, we hired the Tampa Bay Devil Rays GM to come in and do this. We want to build a winning team, but we only want to spend like $80 million. And it's like, bruh, this is 2025. Like, you ain't spending, like, if your payroll ain't $500 million, you're not even in the conversation. And not for nothing, I don't know what our farm system looks like. Our farm system, the Red Sox farm system looks like.
It's garbage now.
But, like, all right, cool. We got the Roman Empire. Oh, which, by the way, I finally got around to watching Gladiator 2. Remind me to tell you about that in a second.
yeah.
We got the Roman Empire, but, like, what are you going to do with him? You're just going to end up fucking trading him away in 3 years anyway when he wants a real deal?
Dude, I made a joke 3 years ago in 2022.
Dog,
I said,
you made
can't wait to trade away Devers for a basket of balls.
You did.
And that's what we did. And I was like,
And you made a joke a couple weeks ago about the Red Sox being cheap as fuck trying to leave Roman Anthony down in the minors so they
Yes.
wouldn't have to pay him.
Yes.
And then they were forced to bring him up, and you were like, bah. But what does that do? All that does is accelerate the timeline of him going somewhere else, which, you know what? Good for him. And I hope he reads the writing on the wall and he sees the tea leaves too and gets the fuck out of Boston.
Hilchi, I don't know if you know this. Theo's back with the Red Sox. But he doesn't have like the same.
Not in the same capacity.
He's like-
Theo 03, 04, Theo was a different level. He was like that next level new wave GM.
Yes.
He was like he kind of paved the way.
And now all those GMs are gone. The whole game has got rid of GMs like that. Like,
Yeah.
Everyone's gone with Billy Bean. Billy Bean's gone from baseball.
Because the fucking Moneyball shit just doesn't work anymore. Like
no, not anymore.
it
Too many people know it.
well that's the thing. It became too mainstream.
If
And
everyone knows it, then nobody knows it.
Right, exactly. You don't have you don't have an ace up your sleeve anymore. You're just sitting there with it doing the same thing everybody else is.
Your dick in your hand.
You know, this is why I pay you the medium bucks.
This is why Billy Bean was like, guys, I'm just gonna leave. They're like, you don't want to come to Vegas with us? We're gonna name him the Vegas Beans after you.
Nah.
And he's like, I think I'd rather die.
Games pass me by,
Yeah.
dog. See you later.
And he's like, you see who played me in the movie? Brad Pitt. You think I want to stay with this shit ass organization?
Seriously. I mean, which is a travesty, but you know, again, it's like, what was I was reading something the other day, totally off topic, but I was reading something. I forget who it was that was looking for a new stadium. Oh, Kansas City wants to build a
yeah.
new stadium.
That stadium's a shithole.
And the people in Kansas City were like, because it's in Missouri and they're afraid it's going to move to Kansas if they
Yeah.
don't. And the people in Missouri are like, good, bye.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're
we
not.
can't afford it.
At this point, why we as taxpayers are still voting to subsidize billionaires getting new stadiums so they can make more money. Like, we always talk about, like, you know, you have like the Liz Warrens and the AOCs, and they're like, yeah, they're making the billionaires need to pay their fair share. How about you start with the fucking sports owners? And how about you start with the fucking stop subsidizing fucking brand new stadiums every 2 decades?
You don't need it.
Like, why do we need a $1.8 billion stadium?
Yeah.
When this one's perfectly fine. You know, Denver's going through the same thing right now where they're looking to build a new stadium in the next couple of years, which is why I'm like kind of chomping at the bit to get out to Denver because I didn't get to see the first Mile High, and I'll be damned if I'm going to miss out on Invesco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I need to at least see it once and go there and see a game. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be kind of a travesty for me to not ever see it. It's one of the coolest stadiums in the country. But my point is like, why are we still as taxpayers allowing politicians to vote that we vote for to use our money to pay for? You know, we all sit here as sports fans and brag about, like, it's such a weird thing because people will brag about how much money their owners have. And they're like, oh, yeah, like, well, the Broncos are the richest owners in sports right now. I'm like, cool. They can definitely afford to build their own fucking stadium then. You know what they should do? They should say, you know what? State of Colorado and City of Denver, we're going to do you the ultimate solid. We're going to fund our own stadium. And we're going to bring in the money via revenue, other ways to pay for it. But we're going to do you people a solid. We're going to give back to you for once. Why is Denver and the taxpayers in Denver going to be on the hook? Or why is Kansas City going to be on the hook to fund, you know, the Hunts you see him? Like the Hunts, you know, Gracie Hunt gets to fucking post Instagram videos of her, you know, in every corner of the globe, every 15 fucking minutes on some different vacation or modeling shoot or whatever on, you know, her family's dime because she didn't do anything to earn it. Oh, what's that? You grew up in an extremely wealthy billionaire family and you're hot? Oh my God, life must be so tough for you. It must be just incredibly tough. Yeah, but let's fund her fucking grandfather or dad's grandfather's fucking stadium again.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense to me. Again, it's not going to change. This is just me going on a fucking rant.
No, but look at L.A. L.A. The city of L.A. is just like, yo, we definitely don't want a team. We definitely don't want to pay for it. And the city of L.A. is like, well, we're going to do it anyway. And they just force fed the Rams.
Yeah, Jim, they're Republicans. Yeah, except the Crafts. The Crafts do the same thing, and I can tell you right now, what's the one that's running for mayor of Boston? Yeah, no Republican.
No, he's not. He's not related to that Kraft family. I don't think.
He's not part of the.
I don't.
No,
think
isn't
so.
he? Is he one of Bob's sons?
Is it?
99% sure.
I gotta look it up. I'm already gonna vote for him because it's over the other asshole.
Oh, Mayor Wu.
Dude,
Harold, I am a Mayor Wu, and this is my proper baby.
Dude, I can't fucking deal with the people that like overdo her videos, and I'm just like, this is so bad. It's so funny.
But dude, the AI, like, even though AI is ultimately going to be the downfall of humanity, and I know this because I've seen Terminator, I have to appreciate it while I'm here and while I'm still alive and not enslaved by.
You are right, Josh Kraft. Yeah.
Josh Kraft. Sorry,
he is running for it. You're right.
I know he is. I'm always right. You know this.
Democrat from mayor.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
I do like to appreciate AI for what it is now, because like all these videos of like, you know, you have like the Yeti and the abominable snowman, and they're like doing like the videos like like where they just like it's like they do like comedy sketches that like regular people do.
Yeah.
But they just put a Yeti and an abominable snowman like wearing a hat and like driving a car. Like,
yeah, I've seen like Batman and
dude,
Superman ones.
yeah, they're
things
wicked
like
fucking funny.
2 stormtroopers.
Yeah, right. The 2 stormtroopers like, yo, we just landed on Endor, man. Vader told us, you know, we're on scooter duty, so we gotta go try and find these little things. And they're like, these fucking teddy bears are throwing rocks at us, bro. What the fuck? Like,
it's terrifying that AI can do that in like 27 seconds.
It is. AI is a fucking AI. I swear to God, it is going to be like, it is ultimately going to be the end of humanity, because once we give AI too much control, and it becomes self-aware. Again, we've seen the movies. I already know how this ends. I just hope I'm around. I just hope I'm around long enough to see it. Like, I want to see the bombs fall from the sky, and I want to see like all the major population centers just eviscerated, and just be like, ha, told you. Like, I just want enough time to be like, told you.
I don't know.
And then I can die because
it's gonna happen.
I mean, the only good thing is I'm pretty sure that the robot army, like the mech army that is going to come to kill us, they're probably just going to kill us. Like, they're not going to want to, like, rape and torture us.
It's gonna be that. It's gonna
Like,
be,
I could deal with the torture, but, like, the rape part, no, I'm all set.
What about what's that game?
No raping. And, like, no mailing that fucking, like, mailing people a finger shit either. Like, just, like, put some jumper cables on my balls and...
Hellfinders? Hell something?
Helldivers?
Helldivers. Isn't there like a race of just like robotic humanity, like AI humanity?
It's like AI robotic humans. It's Starship Troopers versus
Terminators
Terminators.
versus bugs. Yeah.
it's a squash-a-bug game, which is really fun. I had it on my computer for a little while. I think I uninstalled it because it was just taking up so much space.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna hop off this. We're gonna get off the show. I'm gonna hop on iRacing. I'm gonna go tear laps around Pocono. Try not to lose my A license because next week's Atlanta. It's a big week. That's a big safety rating week.
You
need
down.
But nonetheless, Helldivers was apparently it was a really, really fun game.
It looked fun. I don't have time to play it, but it looked
I don't
fun.
either. I was just telling my dad this today too because my dad was like asking me like, oh, have you ever seen like he was asking me like, oh, have you ever seen Sicario? And I'm like,
great movie.
And I'm like,
you would love Sicario.
Everybody says that,
Yeah.
and I know I will just based on the premise of it. But I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I haven't seen it. And my dad's like, what? And I'm like, Dad, I don't have fucking time to
That's
watch.
Benicio del Toro, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have Emily Blunt.
Oh, I love that.
I think John Bernthal's in it too, like, or at least the first. There's two of
Is
them.
he?
Yeah, the Punisher's in it. Shane from Walking Dead.
Oh, I know who he is. Yeah.
No, I know you know, but I'm like, Dad, I don't have time to watch movies, dude. I'm like, he's like, well, fucking instead of fucking sitting there on your fucking stupid game, fucking racing one night, and I'm like, hey, that stupid fucking game racing, like I've got to race against Chase fucking Elliott, okay? That's pretty fucking cool. I don't know many people that can say like, hey, I was in a lobby with Chase Elliott last night. I raced on a simulator against a active NASCAR champion.
I played against Chase Elliott and Bernard Pollard.
I've raced and Bernard Pollard. Which I haven't seen him in a while.
I
I don't know if he's like stopped playing or like I just surpassed him, but I feel like I'm roughly the same. But
maybe get a new job. Maybe he's like
I don't know. I'll DM him. I'll shoot him a message on Twitter and be like, bro, I haven't seen you in a while. Wait, you still playing? What's going on? Because I know his kid was playing a lot. Like his son was getting into it and it was getting pretty good. So I hope he's still playing. Dude, BP was the man. He loved it. He used to love me like talking mad shit about the Patriots because he knew who I was. Because I was like, I'm the guy with Brady get with you blowing out Brady's knee on a T-shirt. And he's like, oh shit, that's you. And I'm like, yeah, because he's seen it on Twitter. He's liked it. I've showed you. I've shown him the T-shirt.
He runs a football training program now for high school, college, and
yeah.
and
I know
athletes.
he was talking about that on his Twitter page a while ago. So he's probably just busy. He's probably not doing much iRacing these days. But listen, man, I got to like not be friends with Bernard Pollard, but like I got to
Yes.
I got to tell Bernard Pollard how much I appreciate him and how that he's pretty much like my third favorite player of all time. You know? So which again, if you ever gone back and watch a Bernard Pollard highlight reel, you want to talk about underappreciated.
I don't want to watch it.
You want to talk about underappreciated safeties that we often like overlook? Start with Bernard Pollard. Dude was an absolute fucking juggernaut. Beast of a human being.
Absolute
Human
Patriot killer.
Fucking Scud missile, dude.
Murdered Gronkowski, Welker,
And
Brady, and Amendola.
And what was his name now? The running back.
Stephen Ridley.
Ridley.
Yeah, Stephen Ridley.
When he knocked him out
the
cold
fuck out.
in the AFC Championship in 2012.
But that was Stephen Ridley. Stephen Ridley, they always told him, and his career didn't last too long. It was only like a 3-4 year career. They were like, you got to stop putting your head straight down. You're not doing as much damage as you think you did in college. Like Shane Vereen's going to end up like living way past you because all you're doing is you're trying to just burst through the hole. You're getting like knocked out. And Stephen Ridley put his head down, knocked out, dropped the football.
But
Stephen
Bernard
Ridley,
Pollard fucking smoked him.
yes, and
on that hit.
And again, Stephen Ridley just kept fumbling the fucking ball.
And that was one of the best safety on running back hits I think I can remember because of not just because of like the hit itself, but because of the time, place, and impact it had on the game.
Yes.
Because that essentially, I think, for all intents and purposes, ended the game for the Patriots. They were driving, and it gave the ball back to Baltimore, and I'm pretty sure they went down. That was the one they got the touchdown to Anquan Bolden on.
We couldn't do anything with it.
I think because it was, 24-12? That was the final. I think it was 17-12 at that point when he put that hit on him.
Probably.
You know what game I watched the other night? Totally fucking random, too. I kind of forgot, like, because I didn't watch it because I was working the night it happened. Was the regular season finale, Patriots Giants 07.
Oh yeah, we talked about this like last.
Did
week.
we talk about it last week?
Talked about it last week.
I got to watch that. It was nice. Nice to watch.
I remember watching that game, being a nervous wreck. Like, we're really not going to be fucking undefeated on the last game against the Giants.
And then you weren't undefeated on the
know.
last game against the Giants.
And it all came full circle, and I'm like, you fuck.
They just set you up. Eli was just like, I'm going to give you this one, but I'm going to take from you everything.
All right, Leonidas. Give to them nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I was like, so speaking of Leonidas, I finally got around to watching Gladiator 2 the other night.
I heard bad things. I heard
Listen,
stupid.
It wasn't bad.
But it was a lot of, like, not anywhere close to as good as the Steven
Bro, come on.
not Steven Scott, Ridley Scott.
Ridley
first
Scott.
one.
You're talking about comparing it to one of, like,
Stephen Ridley, and I was like Steven Scott.
Yeah. You're talking about, like, the original Gladiator is in my top 5 all time.
Oh my god, it was masterful.
It was perfect. It was one of the most perfect.
Even though some of the things didn't fit the time period, the fucking tigers and shit.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Who gives a shit?
I know, but small, minuscule things.
Right. I'm not going to watch Russell Crowe battle in an arena for fucking historical accuracy.
I
Like,
know.
I don't give a shit. This one was a lot, like, more silly. Like, they flood the Coliseum, and there's
I heard.
like great white sharks in it for some reason.
Well, they did. They actually did flood the Coliseum.
Right, they
that is a
did.
fact.
They did do that, but I'm like,
But
why?
with great white sharks.
But I'm like, why are there man-eating sharks in here that seem to be starving? Like, most sharks would just be like, oh, somebody falls in the water, and most sharks would be like, They're like, oh, what the fuck is that? These sharks were just like, yeah, they were like Jaws on steroids. They were like, nice. And I'm like, all right, like
they had
that,
a needle that said HGH like in that
yeah,
show.
that part was a little silly. The whole story felt kind of rushed.
Yeah, people
Like-
said that.
Like, it felt like they were rushing to get it to, like, the point of, like, okay, where does it tie back to the first one?
Yes.
Because you start off and it's like, I mean, it's no spoilers at this point. It's old enough, but it's Lucius, who, if you remember, in the first one was the Marcus Aurelius' daughter, the princess's son.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he ends up being, we all know, as we know, like, he's Maximus's kid, and ends up being like he's the only bloodline to the throne, and then the mom sends him away to protect him because he's the bloodline to the throne. He's like, you're gonna get killed. Someone's gonna come for you. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, he lives in, like, you know, moves to Africa. You know, lives in this, like, principality in northern Africa, which was very much part of the Roman Empire. Ends up marrying some girl. They're like this crazy, like, city, and they're independent of Rome, and the Romans invade, and there's a battle, and the Romans win, but his wife gets killed. He gets brought back to Rome to be a gladiator, and then, like, starts
Wife gets killed, gets brought back to be a gladiator.
Yeah, it's basically like you can figure out the rest from there. Denzel was great in it. Denzel ends up, but like the twin emperors, which I like. I don't know if that was his
Is
sort.
Denzel still Denzelish?
Yes. Yeah, Denzel's
See,
Denzel.
You can't have Denzel back in that time period.
But
Be
he was like,
Denzel.
he was a slave to the Rome to Marcus Aurelius at one point, and, like, escaped and got his freedom. Blah blah blah. There's a whole lot of stories in it. The twins as the emperors, though, like, that was kind of silly because, like, they looked like shit the whole time, which was, I guess, the point. Like, they were like inbred weirdos. I'm like, are they going for, like, a Caligula type thing? Is that what they were like? Is it like twin Caligulas? Like, I couldn't tell, but they were, like, infatuated with, like, torturing and killing people and all this other shit, and, like, it got a little silly, but it was pretty good.
Okay.
It wasn't like was it on par with the first one? Fuck no.
Twin Caligulas. I
Like-
like that, by the way.
Yeah, like, you know, like, Caligula. Anybody knows Caligula was a freak, but it wasn't a great movie, but it wasn't bad.
All right, all right.
It was worth a watch. I don't know if it's worth it's almost
It's
3
hours long.
I don't know if it's worth all that.
I'm gonna have to watch it by myself.
But
Because first of all,
it was but it was at the very least it was entertaining. If you go into it, it's just like, hey, I want to watch like a vengeance dude movie.
yeah.
This is your movie, man.
Okay, I do like vengeance movies.
Same. We all do.
But not my wife. I'm like, do you want to see a movie where they fight in sandals with swords and blades, and it's about history? And she's like, you've lost me at sandals.
But there is not a single titty in this entire movie.
Nah, that's not right. Is there a penis?
No.
Nah,
Not even a
see?
flaccid one.
Not even time accurate.
Nope.
And back then they'd just be flopping around everywhere.
Wiener, floppy wiener,
They-
hanging wiener,
you know-
lots of wieners.
You know how all those things are cut in the sides. You can give you like your leg.
Yeah.
They cut it right in the middle.
Yeah.
Ah.
God damn it. That was not an intentional spit take either. Fuck you. Why did that make me laugh so
I don't-
fucking
it's
hard?
just stupid.
God damn it. Oh, you fucking dick. That was vodka all over me. Now I have to take a shower tonight. Fuck. Oh man. Anyway, but yeah, it was a good movie. It's worth a watch, but yeah, I would like if you're gonna watch it with the wife, I wouldn't.
No, she would make it 5 minutes. She'd be like, and she'll wake up. I made it halfway. I'm like, what? Does Lauren ever do that to you?
What's that?
You'll watch a movie, and then at some point you just give up, and you're like, I'm invested in this. I don't give a shit if they're invested. I'm going to see it to its conclusion.
Oh yeah.
And then the point of it doesn't become a point of they didn't finish the movie because they liked it or whatever. It becomes, well, I got through half of it. And I'm like, where do you think half was? And she tells me where she is, and I'm just like,
That was 20 minutes into a
I was
3-hour
like,
movie.
we were 11 minutes into this movie. And I remember specifically, this was a decade ago. I loved Pacific Rim with like Charlie Hunnam when it first
Oh
came
hell
out.
yeah! I still love that movie.
I was like, oh, you want to watch it? It's a total action movie about da da da. And she's like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And I think she made 11 minutes into the movie. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
And she was out, and she was like, oh, I got halfway through. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I think you didn't even get past like the opening scene.
It's like Charlie Hunnam's like just crashes the Jaeger on the beach and she's like out already.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly probably the part. And she's like, I already saw the final fight. And I was like, there's no.
Like, actually, it's like the guy with the metal detector, and he's like, beep, beep,
Yes.
beep, 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 beep. He's like, what the fuck? You're like, holy shit, great movie.
Yeah.
The first one was fucking
The
awesome.
second one was beyond gay.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid.
It was awful. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, but that was the one with
They bring them on game shows and shit like that, and they're betting on it, and they're doing all this shit. And then the guy who was fucking
wasn't that the one with Ron Perlman? The second one
no, Ron Perlman was already dead.
Was he
John
in the-
Boyega was the main guy.
was Ron Perlman in the first one?
I think so.
That way where he harvests the parts of the. I thought maybe I'm confusing
Both
it then.
movies harvest parts of
Right,
one.
but I can't remember what Ron Perlman was in. I know he was. I think I must have been the first one. The second one was the one with like the scientist guy goes crazy, right? And it's like control, like
Yes,
introducing him and shit. Yeah.
Yes. Ron Perlman was in the second movie, but it wasn't for long. He was the guy trying to like sell pieces on the black market.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like basically a cameo in that movie.
He was the end of the second one, or he was much more. Sorry, he was in the first one though,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's been a while since I've
The
seen.
second movie, you didn't have two people. You could only have one person can do the Jaeger by themselves, and I'm like, that takes away from the whole like
the
coolness
drifting
of it.
thing.
Yeah,
Like, that
you
was
have to share memories and everything. It can
Yeah.
be compatible. I don't know. I thought that movie was awesome, but then I don't know.
It again, like most things Hollywood, it had a lot of potential and then they ruined it.
Yeah.
You know, just like they're gonna ruin Godzilla and they're gonna ruin who knows what else. They already ruined comic books forever.
I heard they greenlit and they recently ungreenlit, so they just fucking canceled the project. Escape from New York, which I fucking love.
Snake Plissken.
Which so many things are based off of Snake Plissken these days. If you've ever
Yeah.
played any Metal Gear Solid game ever, it's based off of Snake Plissken. But it was going to be Escape from New York, and it was going to be with a female cast lead. She was going to be Snake Plissken.
Nope, that doesn't work.
But the movie was greenlit. The cast was saying it. It was going to be.
Actually, I shouldn't say that doesn't work. It could have been cool, but probably not.
I don't think.
Tomb Raider was great.
It's basically like a female prisoner that has like a snake chest tattoo between her tits at this point.
All right. Depending on who that actress is.
I was gonna say, if they cast Sydney Sweeney as Snake Plissken, I was like,
in.
I didn't know I loved Sydney Sweeney with an eye patch and a headband. I had no clue.
Sydney Sweeney as Snake Plissken. You're like, I have never been so turned on in my life.
It's literally just someone that does AI over the original New York with just her in it. I'm like, wow, I never needed to watch this movie more in my life.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just Hollywood. I feel like Hollywood just like they've straight up run out of ideas. Like I said, there's 3 movies that I'm looking forward to seeing.
That many?
Actually 5
Okay.
in theaters. So I'm gonna see the Brad Pitt F1 movie because
That looks awesome to me. I know you sent me that joke about how it is, but I was like,
and it's right, which is like it's where'd you learn about race cars, old man? Inventing them, like which it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be,
Yeah.
but that's fine because visually it's probably gonna be fucking awesome. Like the cinematography of it is probably gonna be through the roof,
it's a decent acting cast
and
too.
it's right. It's not a low budget like rushed shit through film.
Yeah.
Like I think they put some time and effort into it. So I'll at least give it that. I'll give it I will go to the theater to see it. I won't wait for that one to come out. I will go to the theater to see it just to experience it in the theater. Probably go to Randolph with the moving seats again because that was really cool. And I'll do that. Then I want to see 28 Years Later because I loved the first 2.
I have no expectations for 28 Years Later.
I don't have any expectations for it either. All I know is I love the first 2. So the third one,
I think the first one
I'm
was
leaving it
so good.
the first one was phenomenal. The second one I thought was better though. I thought
didn't.
the second one took what the first one did and I feel like it was a perfect continuation. I should put it that way.
They're not zombies. It's a disease that everyone thinks is zombies.
Well, right, they're like World War Z zombies, but they're not zombie. Like,
yeah, they're sprinters.
because all the people that were like zombie film fanatics were like, well, this is a zombie movie. I'm like, yeah, cool, bro. It's an apocalypse movie. I don't give a
Yes.
fuck. Like, whatever.
yeah.
Hey, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking mouth breathing nerd that needs to fucking. I mean, I am, but only for some things. But I don't really give a flying fuck about zombie shit. So
yeah,
whatever.
it's 28 years later after the original outbreak, so it's almost accurate to when the actual timepiece took place of when they filmed the first movie to
03,
now.
02, 02, 03.
We're
Well, it
talking
came
about
out in 03.
yeah, we're talking like almost actually going to be 28 years. It's pretty damn close. It's like 25
I
years.
think that was like one of my first dates with my girlfriend in high school. Was going to see 28 days later.
That's a bold choice taking it 28 days later.
We were both into it.
And Cillian Murphy, full nudity, like the first scene, and I'm like, why I need to see your dick? Right off the bat, I'm like, why?
Honestly, I forget. I just remember like the soundtrack being super creepy.
It
Like
was-
the theme
yes,
song was like
yes.
really dark and haunting.
I think it was one of the best zombie-ish type scenes where they're running to this house and the husband leaves the wife and daughter behind.
That's the second one.
That's the second one.
That's the beginning of the second one.
That's the opening.
Yeah. And he escapes in the boat down the river.
Yeah, and he basically pushes the guy that's fixing the boat into the water. The guy's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. And he just dips. And
yeah,
then
and then he
ends
gets
up,
caught anyway.
and then he finds his wife later, not
Yeah.
realizing she's immune to it.
Yeah.
Kisses her, and then he gets infected, then gouges her eyes out with his thumbs, and then that starts the infection in the hospital again.
Jesus
which is
Christ.
And then what's his name gets? That's when they torch what's his name with the flamethrowers and shit.
Yeah.
What was the actor's name?
Of the
The-
second one, I can't
in
think
the
of it.
second one,
It's
he
not
was-
Cillian Murphy.
No, you know this guy. Look it up. He's pretty common, not common, but he's a pretty well known actor. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Kind of like blondish hair, good looking ish dude. No homo.
Ralph Fiennes?
No. If you said it, I'd know. I feel like if you said it, I'd know. He plays the soldier that helps him escape, and he's pushing the car away.
Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy Renner.
There we go.
Yeah. You know, he's pushing the car, and then like
Yes.
they come out with the flamethrowers, and they
Yes.
torch his ass, and then they to pop start the car. And they're looking out the back windshield of him getting fucking lit up. And it's like, oh, fuck. But the first one, remember, because the first one got rapey at the end,
Yes.
and then the second one was like not as rapey, but it did get a little rapey.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm looking forward to the third one. So that's the second movie I'm looking forward to. The third movie I'm looking forward to, and I'm very much looking forward to this, is the new Jurassic Park.
Oh, well, it's probably going to be a horror movie?
Yes, where it's like,
Yes.
this is like, everything I've read says like, this is what it would be like.
Well, this is what the books are after.
Yes, this is like this is like what would happen if you went to an island inhabited by prehistoric animals
Yes.
as human beings. This is what would happen to you.
Or this was yes, and this
it's
was
dark and violent, and it's very like
This was like, hey, we're creating Jurassic Park, but we can't create and let these things out and test it all the same. So on this island, New Bar 1 or 2, whatever the fuck it's called, we're going to have the creating island, and then you can test them all here. And then when they're actually a finished product, then we transfer them over to Jurassic Park,
Right.
and that's when you got Island New Bar number B, whatever the fuck it is, or C.
Isla Nublar.
Yeah, whatever the names were.
I forget. Yeah.
And then like you see
been a
like
while.
you see like someone online spoiled it, which I'm totally fine with what the dinosaurs look like. But they spoiled like what like the mutations of the dinosaurs are, and I'm just like, that's really cool. It's different.
I'm looking forward to it regardless because it's supposed to be more of a horror movie than like a,
Yes.
it's
not kids.
It's not Chris Pratt being like,
Calm your ass down.
stop, dinosaur.
Yeah.
That could kill me in 3 seconds. I am speaking to you telepathically.
Blue.
Blue. Like, it's like, no, I don't need that shit. Don't get me wrong. I didn't mind those movies. They were fun for what they were.
Mm-hmm.
They were like campy.
They were Disney.
They were Disney dinosaur movies, which was fine. They were the Land Before Time with real action. Whatever. So that was cool.
Tooth.
And then Sharp Tooth. Ooh, tree stars. Like, those are called leaves, you fucking ingrates. This is why you're extinct. But
Here comes a space rock.
yeah. Hey, look at the space rock, you guys. It's saying hi to us.
Dude, remember the TV show Dinosaurs?
Yeah.
That's just how they ended the series. They're just like, "Yo, comet's coming for us. We're all gonna die. Good luck, everybody."
Yeah.
And they were like, "That was the series
Not the mama.
finale." Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the mama.
So fucking great. And then the other two, I'm gonna go see Jaws in theaters because
Jaws.
they're
making Jaws.
they're re-releasing Jaws in I think July.
Re-releasing.
Well, they're
Jaws,
putting it
okay.
in. It's coming back to theaters this year because it's the 50th anniversary.
Wow.
So
Holy shit.
I've never seen Jaws on the big screen. Jaws is one of my all-time favorite movies.
I've never seen Jaws on the big screen either.
So I am 110% going to see Jaws
Okay.
in IMAX. Like
Wow, 50.
I mean, I know every line, I know every scene, I know every fucking like thing. I even got my dad the book of like the making of Jaws and like all of his other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing I don't know about the movie. I'm still gonna go see it because it's to see that movie on the big screen is a treat in itself.
Right.
And it's not every day you get to do that. So I'm going to go do that. And then Shin Godzilla comes out, I think, like August 15th. August 15th and 16th in select theaters.
Mm-hmm.
They're releasing Shin Godzilla in American theaters.
Wow.
Somewhere
Shin
in there.
Godzilla, what year?
2016.
Oh, that's not that. That's like 8 years ago.
But it's updated
9.
in 4K, but it never came out in American theaters.
So was it dubbed or no?
Oh, no, it's all subtitles. It's Japanese. Like,
Okay,
it's all in Japanese. It is probably my top 3 favorite Godzilla movies. 85, 80. Well, Godzilla 84 is the best to me. Then it gets tough because like you have the original, which was really good. I really liked Godzilla 2000 and Final Wars. Those were really good too, but those are older. But then like you have like the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I don't know. I'd have to go through it and like really rank them. But Shin is up there because Shin was like it was a very dark, angry, like very close to the original type feel. Where like Godzilla's just this indestructible, immovable object that you can't stop, and you just have to let it like kind of run its course, and then you get out of it. So those are the 5 I'm going to see this summer, at least.
That's not bad. That's a decent 5.
Right. Well, I mean, 2 of them I've already seen. 3 of them are new. So, we'll see. I don't have high hopes for F1. That's just whatever.
That's just like a.
I'm gonna let myself have high hopes for 28 years later and Jurassic Park, because why not? But then again, the last time I let myself have high hopes for something was Godzilla -1, and my dreams were shattered. So
Tom Cruise loved the Godzilla -1.
listen, it's not a bad movie. It's really not. I've watched it again since. It's not a bad movie. It's just not the way I would have done it. It's not the formula that I would. It needed more it needed to showcase Godzilla's destructive force more.
I think Tom Cruise was like, "Hey, for Top Gun 3, it wouldn't be too bad if Godzilla."
Wouldn't it be cool if Godzilla fought an F-14?
you just see Tom Cruise.
Did you see that? Did you see all the memes of like the Israeli Defense Force just like dropping bombs on Iranian F-14s, and everybody in America being like, "No, leave the F-14s alone. Don't destroy them." Those should be like no Geneva Convention. You can't blow up F-14s anymore. They're relics. You can't touch them. Leave them alone. Just like EMP him or something, man. Like fuck.
Wow, EMP. That's just as equally as bad.
Yeah, but at least there's the
They're
frame.
fried.
At least the frame is still intact. You can replace the electronics, you know, or like get Top Gun and Rooster to go fucking steal them. I don't know, like whatever. Which that part was very stupid in that movie, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I wasn't there to fucking be again accuracy. Bleh. Whatever. Fuck your accuracy.
Someone.
You know what was accurate? Jaws. Jaws was accurate.
Someone said Tom Cruise is actually dead. The whole Top Gun 2 movie. Like that's the whole.
Just his
movie.
dream.
Yeah, it's him. Like it's his last moments. Like he dies in the beginning of the movie, and then the whole rest of the movie is his like last
I
moments.
mean, I
alive.
don't know. He's flying around with his girlfriend in that fucking Mustang at the end, which is pretty fucking rad. And she was
It's not the same original woman either.
no, but she was pretty hot though. What's her name?
I don't remember.
The actress in the second one.
I don't remember fucking who that.
Come
name
on,
was.
you know who she is, dude. You're all up in these Hollywood people. You know all these people.
Not anymore. I got kids. I know Miss Rachel.
He's like, I know the fucking Paw Patrol, bro.
Someone else said something recently. Someone's like, "Oh, I can't stand Miss Rachel." I'm like, "Why? What the fuck did she
Who
do?"
the fuck is Miss Rachel? Is that the Magic School Bus?
Kinda. Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. Thank you. You know who that is.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly's.
What else has she been in?
She's 55. She's
I know.
beautiful.
She's fucking hot for 55, dude. I mean, she got no ass to speak of, but you know, I don't mind a little pancake butt from time to time.
Going back to Karen Reed. Fall of her accent, no ass. Requiem for a Dream, Career Opportunities, Labyrinth, Top Gun, A Beautiful Mind,
Beautiful Mind. I remember that one.
Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
There's so many movies she's done.
Yeah. No, she's been around for
Once
a minute.
Upon a Time in America. Holy shit. Once Upon a Time in America. Who was she in that?
I don't know.
She must
I've
have
never
been.
seen
She
it.
must have been. Yeah, you have. Once Upon a Time in America.
I've
Robert
seen
De
Once Upon a
Niro.
Time in Mexico.
No, this is Robert De Niro. and
No,
Al
I don't think
Pacino.
I've ever seen that.
This is like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino's like first.
Can
movie
I
together.
can I tell you something on air that's probably gonna fucking blow your mind?
What, you've never seen Godfather or something?
No, I've never seen Heat.
You've never seen Heat?
I've only seen the clips of the shootout.
Heat is an excellent movie.
I know. I've never seen it.
And do you know Al Pacino just fucking refused to say to the script in that movie? When you watch it, like you can tell because there's one part because he's a detective police officer, whatever the fuck his title is.
I'm gonna go downstairs tonight and be like, I've never seen Heat. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. Never seen Sicario. Great fucking movie. You're gonna love it. You know what I'm gonna put on? And be like,
Godzilla Shin.
I'm gonna watch Speed.
There we go. That's Jennifer Connelly played that in that movie. She played like a 9-year-old girl.
No idea.
No idea who the fuck that is.
Yeah, I've never seen Heat. I've never seen Green Mile. I've never seen Schindler's List.
Schindler's List you don't want to watch.
I've
Schindler's
never
List is
seen,
fucking awful. Awful in like a fucking historic way.
I've never seen. What was the other one I never saw? The Shawshank. Never seen Shawshank.
Shawshank, I personally believe is overhyped. Like when I first saw it, and I was like, "Wow, like what a good movie!" And everyone's like, "It is the greatest piece of American history." I'm like, "What?"
Never seen it. And everybody's like, "What do you mean? You work in a prison? You've never seen Shawshank?" I'm like, "Why is that? Was that a prerequisite? Was that assigned reading in the academy that I missed? Like, whatever." No, I don't know. I've never seen that one. Again, like I was telling my dad the other day, like I'm an asshole, dude. Like I just don't make time to watch movies.
He is
I'm
so
not
good though.
a big movie guy. Like I like what I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it sticks with me, it sticks. Like Pulp Fiction, Terminator 2, Saving Private Ryan. Like those three. Jaws. You know, those four right there. Gladiator. There's my top 5. Like any of those 5 movies come on, and I've instantly lost 2 hours of my day.
I have such a hard time with picking a top 5 movie list because I feel like it depends on the day. And
I
my
know that one
mood.
was honest because it was right off the top. Like, there's other movies that like I'm gonna like I dig wicked hard. Like, you know, Thin Red Line I always put in there because
Saving Private Ryan.
well, that's in my top 5.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like it depends. Like, if am I in a war day? Am I in a history day? Am I in a sci-fi day?
Right.
You know?
What do I want to watch?
Yeah.
You know, what am I into today? You know, like I can't put a Godzilla movie in my top 5 because they're all like. I mean, the closest one would be in 84 or maybe 2014, but none the like. But even like Top Gun, love Top Gun. Days of Thunder, greatest sports movie ever made. Days of Thunder is probably like number 6 on my list because that's another one. If it's on, I'm watching it. Top Gun 2, if it's on, I'm watching it. Like there's those, so probably there's probably my 7 right there. Give me my 5, then Days of Thunder, Top Gun 2, Top Gun 2 over Top Gun 1.
Which is so funny.
You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of like what else, like what other movies that I'm always like, what other movies come on that like once it, like when you see it on the guy, when you're scrolling through the guy and you're like, oh yeah, all right, well, fuck, that just started. Yeah, there's 2 hours of my day.
Not one of my favorite movies of all time, but I absolutely stop and watch it every single time I see it if it's on. Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, that's a good one. You know what movie does? You know what movie does that to me? Oh, all right. So then I'd have to probably incorporate Die Hard. But you know what movie does it to me too? Is Fifth Element. That's when I can't click by it.
And Fifth Element is a cult classic at this point because when that first came out, people were like, "This movie is straight dog shit."
They were like, "Oh, this is trash," because they were like expecting it, and I'm like, "No, man." Like same thing with Demolition Man.
Great
fucking movie.
Demolition Man has actually done better in time than actually what
Demolition Man has aged like a fine wine, sir.
It's come out true.
It's been like we didn't realize this, but Demolition Man was actually a documentary.
Yes.
You know?
He goes to the police station, "Fuck you, kiss my ass, bitch." He just gets all the fines.
And then the fat moo wearing fucking elites are like, pudding.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the main cuisine.
I know. I forget how much Taco Bell paid to have that, but it was like pennies on the dollar, and it like not put them on the map, but it made them like a big like that was like a huge return for Taco Bell, if I remember right. But no, there's so many like Fast and the Furious, the original.
Idiocracy, yes, you're right.
Oh, Idiocracy is definitely one of them. But that's a great comedy. Beavis and Butthead Do America. Team America. If Team America's on, fuck you. Like that's.
Tell me you'll never die.
I promise. I will never die. Like me and my wife still joke about that to this day. And then she'll go like this, and she'll go shh, and push her finger in my eye. Like
Muhammad Jihad.
I said that to the cab driver on my honeymoon in Turkey, and I was like, heading west down Bakalakadaka Street. And my wife's like, "Will you shut the fuck up?"
Has a handgun. He's like this under his arm.
And I'm just like, Durka, Muhammad Jihad. And this guy's name's Jamal. I'm like, oh, my wife, and we're with like these 2 Canadians, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "You guys never seen Team America?" They're like, "No."
They're like, "We're Canada. We're Team Canada."
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh boy, you guys are missing out." So many good movies though. Like there's just so many. Like you start going through them. Like Ace Ventura. How do you not put that in your upper echelon of comedies?
It's tough. It's really tough to make a
Billy Madison
top 5 movie list. Someone said,
you know a movie I didn't love,
what?
And it's another like kind of one that I'm just like I can't like. It's not that I didn't like it, but I didn't love it. Happy Gilmore.
I can understand.
I know everybody loved it. It was funny when it came out, but
I think Happy Gilmore 2, you'll probably like better if you see it when it comes out on Netflix in like 2 weeks.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Then you'll like the first one because I feel like it'll be Adam Sandler being like it'll be more serious and it'll be more relatable than the first one, which is like a 90s like cult classic of just like stupidity jokes. And in this one he's gonna be like, I just got really fucking lucky and like all my heroes like died. Like it'll be more like relatable. It'll be more like a real movie.
Yeah. Grandma's Boy.
Grandma's Boy.
Absolute fucking classic.
Most people have not seen Grandma's Boy.
If you haven't seen Grandma's Boy, and I know I'm not the one, like I just told you all these movies I've never seen, Heat, Shawshank, Green Mile, all those, like, if you haven't seen Grandma's Boy, you are seriously missing out. It is one of the funniest movies ever made. Like, it is a young Jonah Hill, a young fucking, what's his name there, the other comedian, the blonde kid.
Nick Swardson.
Young Nick Swardson, young Jonah Hill. Like, the whole fucking movie is just fucking insanely funny. Like, I still quote it to this day. Like, I'll be at work and I'll walk on the tier and like I'll smell people smoking, and I'll just walk on the tier and I'll be like, "Smells like Cypress Hill concert in here." You know, like, it's just, dude, like, fucking hilarious.
Of all the places to pick, you pick a Cypress Hill concert.
Well, that's
like,
what.
No, I know it's what he says in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's like of all the concerts you could pick, you should pick Cypress
Smells like
Hill.
Cypress Hill concert in here.
You've never seen
I'm
Green
sorry,
Mile?
was that expensive? No, I've never seen Green Mile.
Did
Never
you
seen,
say that on air?
Yeah.
Yes, you just said that, and I was like, I didn't even hear you say
Yeah,
that.
I had never seen Green Mile, Shawshank, Heat, Sicario,
Green Mile's depressing.
Schindler's List.
That's just tough watch too.
Trying to think. There's like a bunch of apparently there's like a bunch of like really classic movies that I've never seen. I've seen Casablanca like 15 times. Sucks.
I
Actually, Casablanca wasn't bad. It was fucking what's it called? That fucking sucked.
I didn't care for Casablanca. Casablanca I thought was kind of just. Well, it's also not my time.
What was the one
period.
that it was Rosebud? It was all about his sled.
Wasn't that
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane?
Fucking terrible.
Well, that's not for our time period.
Horrible fucking movie. Yeah, but they propped it up like it was like this fucking classic. Like, no, bro.
I'm sure in the 40s it was.
I'd rather watch like anything by Hitchcock from that point. Like, at least like The Birds, even though it looked like shit because the special effects were trash, it was at least a good movie.
I love how they would just like take like these like
Citizen
tennis
Kane
balls.
was fucking horrendous, dude.
Rosebud.
I literally wanted to blow my brain. I had to watch that in college, I think 3 times. Because I would cherry pick like film classes, and every fucking film instructor I had was like, "Okay, this week's assigned watch is Citizen Kane." I'm like, "Really? Again?" Like, god damn it. And they're like, "It's a great movie, great period time piece, like blah 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 blah." And I had this like really eccentric gay guy, not that it matters he was gay, but he was, as one of my teachers. And he was like this wicked nerdy dorky. He like dressed really well, wore glasses, like he was really like kind of your quintessential gay dude.
Yeah.
From like the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Like just gay enough to like you knew he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if he wanted to hide it, like he could hide it in a heartbeat. Like, you know what I mean? But he like made like special like little comments and innuendo, like you're like, okay, we get it, bro. You're gay. Like it's cool. Like you're wearing Doc Martens and like designer Gucci glasses. Like we get it. Okay, cool. Good looking dude too. No homo. But he like went on a tear about like, because I was like, I rolled my eyes. It was the second film class I took, and I rolled my eyes when we had to watch Citizen Kane. I was like, oh, this fucking movie again. God, what do you have against it? And I'm like, it fucking sucks. It's like 2.5 hours of nothing. It's about a fucking sled. And he's like, yeah, it's a great time period. And like went into like this like 15-minute lecture, like held us after the class was over and was like, do not leave. I am not done. And we're like, and he's lecturing us about Citizen Kane. I'm like, oh my God, I'll never forget. I was sitting next to this girl. I can't remember her name to save my life. And she's like, have you seen this before? I'm like, yeah, it fucking sucks. And she's like, do I have to watch it? I'm like, well, yeah, you do. Because if you don't watch it, like there's certain things that happen in it that like, if you don't watch it, you're not like, you're going to fail like the quiz or whatever that we get on it. And she's like, fuck. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I can't even tell you because last time I had to like hold my puke down as I was watching it. It was one of the fucking most boring, worthless movies I've ever seen in my life. Hated it. Casablanca, hey, at least that was good. He's still looking at you, kid. Clink.
Yeah, and it's like an old school like sort of love. Well, it is a love story, but like a small love story. But it's just not my time. Like it's not. I didn't find enjoyment.
No, that was the shit my grandmother used to watch.
It's long, drawn out talking, and it's just like
it was dialogue.
The shit that they talked about is not fucking relatable.
And they always talked about, well, it's the dialogue, and I'm like,
it's the way they said it.
Oh,
it's the long pauses between words. Yeah, it's called fucking waste of time. That's why I was waiting around for so long.
Seriously, it was just so bad, dude.
I have anxiety from how much time in between the time it fucking took you to say all this shit.
Vanilla Sky, that's another one I've never seen. I
did not like Vanilla Sky.
I think that's the only bad Tom Cruise movie ever because it's the only one I think everybody is universally like, nah, that movie sucks.
It was weird.
Yeah. I always challenge people to be like, find me a bad Tom Cruise movie. Find me a bad Mel Gibson movie. Say what you want about the motherfuckers, but they know how to make good movies.
He's like, I have a fucked up face and I'm going to a club. Yeah. And they're like, are you wearing a mask? And he's like, no.
Wait, no, wasn't that Eyes Wide Shut?
He also wore a mask in that, but that's a different.
That was the sex party with all the elite people.
Yeah,
wasn't that the one where like he tracks his wife and finds out that she's going to the same parties that he is or something like that?
Yeah.
I forget. I didn't really watch that one all the way through. I've seen it, but I've never watched it all the way through. You know what else? You know what other movie was fucked too? Was like Clockwork Orange. That was fucked up. That's tough for me to watch.
But Clockwork Orange,
like the rape scene was just like.
Clockwork Orange was like a fucked up movie.
Yeah, really fucked up.
That was the whole point of it.
Yeah, Kubrick was a fucking weirdo. Love him.
Didn't Kubrick do the original Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah, I think he did. Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut.
He had a lot of shit going on in his head.
Bro, that boy was crazy.
Either he knew and saw some shit, and he's like, I'm writing about this, or he was just fucked up in
Listen,
the head.
man, I cannot wait to write my movie. I'm gonna make a prison movie when I'm done with my career. I have a Word document. Every like couple of weeks I come home and just like type down like all the funny shit that I saw and like or did or whatever, like things that happened, you know what I mean, scenarios, people. It varies. Like there's really like if you read through it, you'd have no idea. Like it's not like an organized thing.
It doesn't have to be.
It's just notes. Like on this day, this is what this happened. Like on this day, this happened. Like I go through all like the deaths I've seen and all the other stuff. Like I have everything listed. So one day when I write my movie, I have my material. And I'll tell you right now, if you put a gun to my head and said what genre is this going to fall under, I'm like 95% sure it's going to be a comedy.
Not that I did not think you were gonna say that, but it's so funny you said that because I tell my wife all the time. I was like, I think I would be a good storyteller if I had the time to do it. Because if we're watching a movie and we're serious together, I'll go on my phone in the notes and I'll type in what I think the ending is. I'll screenshot it and put it back in my pocket.
I did that with Gone Girl. Pissed me off. Hate that movie.
Oh, I liked Gone Girl.
I know you did. And it pissed me off because I went into it with high expectations because you said it was great.
I loved it.
And like the first 5 minutes was like, she did it. It's her.
Well, I figured out it was her too. But I liked the way she was a psychopath about it. And then at the end, she was just like, yeah, I killed a bunch of people so we could be together.
Duh.
Dumbass. And I was like, man, that caught me off guard. I like that. And
yeah, but I knew
that's what I liked.
I don't know because I kind of knew. I picked it out real quick, and then like I'm like that was a waste of 2 fucking. I was so mad because I don't like when I can pick out the ending of a movie.
Neither do I.
I hate that. If I pick the ending, if I pick out the ending in the first 15 minutes of a movie and I can guess what's gonna happen, I'm like because at some point you've seen enough movies to know like okay this is how this is gonna go.
The Prestige.
And
made
I know
me
we
upset
have not talked about sports in at least 45 minutes now, but that's okay. This has gone down a rabbit hole of epic proportions. But like, if I can figure out what's going to happen in the movie in the first 15 minutes, to me that movie's a failure. You didn't do your job.
Yeah, because then the whole time I'm just like reaffirming that I'm correct in my assumption.
Like Inception, fucking hate it.
Oh, I know you do, but
Fucking terrible movie.
I loved Inception.
One of the most overrated movies of all time. Everybody's like, "Oh, you just don't like it because it's a thinking man's movie." Like, there's nothing to think about, you dickhead.
No,
it's just overly complex.
But I tend to like Christopher Nolan. I like Memento. I like Interstellar. I like
Memento
was different.
But it pissed me off too because again, it was.
It starts
I thought
at
it was
the end.
stupid.
It starts at the end, and the beginning of the movie is the end.
But
and the ending is the beginning.
Yeah, but that one, my wife and I think we Netflixed that one back when you used to like send away for like DVDs.
Lenny.
Yeah, and like we watched that, and me and her both like that was fucking dumb.
You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it didn't do it. That one didn't do it for me. I got the concept of it though. It was like okay, cool concept.
Yes.
But I don't know. Wasn't my type of movie.
Yeah.
Like Shutter Island, same thing.
Shutter Island.
Like really well done, really good. But
that has no replay value for me. I thought really
you see
good
it
movie.
once. You see it once, and you're like, I'm good.
Yeah, same with not Fifth Element. What the fuck am I gonna say? The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, yeah. Right. Once you know the twist.
Yeah, once you know the twist.
Well, every M. Night Shyamalan movie's like that.
Well,
right?
they're all garbage now. You know what movie I did watch? I watched it on the plane.
The Village.
No, that sucked. I thought that was god
The
awful.
monsters in the woods that are just townspeople dressed up in fucking suits.
You're like the fucking monster is Adrian Brody.
You're like there was a
The
highway
midget?
50 feet. You couldn't see cars walking like driving by or hear them.
Not only driving by, it's a highway. You can hear him zooming by.
Right.
And there's a guy that patrols. He's just like, yo, I'll help you get back over the fence, but just pretend like I'm not here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so the villager who was blind, who got out, could feel up this cop, and the cop was just like, yo, what the fuck is going on over there? And he's like, I'll just give you all these medicine in bottles. She's like, you have it in bottles? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2007. Like, fuck you.
I ended up watching a Trap with Josh Hartnett, which is an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I know the movie.
The twist is that the director forces you to watch his daughter perform a concert for an hour. Because that's his daughter. His daughter is the singer in the movie. And it's really just like, I think he basically filmed her. But I like the fact that Josh Hartnett was a serial killer. And the whole movie, they're trying to capture him when you're not being force-fed this concert. And then I enjoyed the ending of it because I was just like, oh, okay. It's a different ending from an M. Night Shyamalan movie. The twist was...
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, the twist was you're forced to fucking watch this movie because he's basically just glazing his daughter to be a singer in real life. And that was the twist. The twist was the joke's on you for paying money to see this.
Ha! Fucking idiots. Yeah, that shit pisses me off.
But I do like Josh Hartnett. I hope he comes back as an actor. I feel like he's underappreciated. 30 Days of Night I loved with Josh Hartnett.
Man, I had a stripper in Canada goose me for a whole lot of money because she told me I was like really cute and I looked like Josh Hartnett, which I know I don't.
Not even close.
I knew I didn't.
Like the time you look like a black guy too.
But I was 18 years old and I had a pocket full of cash and she was like a 14 out of 10. So I was like, sure, lady, whatever you say.
Yes.
Can I keep squeezing your fake boobs? Awesome. Because I'll pay. That's exactly what I did. And then PJ and Mike thought I got kidnapped or thrown out or something worse.
Close.
So they were looking for me. And then I came down and I had like $40 left in my pocket. And the girl told me I owed her 200 and something. And I was like, let me go get my friend real quick. And luckily I got PJ and Mike right as they were leaving. Like they were literally going outside to like start looking for me in the city because they thought I got thrown out. And I was just upstairs in like this private booth with this stripper. And it was a fucking hilarious story. And I was like, PJ, he's like, dude, where the fuck you been? I'm like, bro, come here. He's like, what? I'm like, PJ, my exact words, PJ, I fucked up. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I need you to spot me. He's like, how much? I'm like, $230. He's like, what did you do? I'm like, that's the worst part. Nothing. I don't know what I did. I was like, how long have I been gone for? He's like, dude, like 2 hours. And I'm like,
oh, okay.
I'm like, oh yeah, like yeah,
the math does add up.
Yeah, $10 a song. Yeah, it's okay. That makes sense. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, sorry, dude. And he, like, luckily PJ had a credit card and he just put it on the credit card, and I paid him back later. But it was funny as fuck. But yeah, she got me for every penny I was worth. She was like, stupid 18-year-old American, and I was like, yes, that is me. She's like, oh, you're cute. You look like Josh Hartnett. And I was like, sure, whatever you say. Nice tits.
Man.
Canada was great. The first time Canada was great. Second time, it was okay.
The Canada Returns, not great.
Yeah,
The
2007 Canada, not as good as 2004 Canada.
That's hysterical.
I actually watched, that was when I watched Derek Fisher hit the buzzer beater against the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals.
Derek Fisher. How many titles that dude have? 5?
5. All 5 with Kobe and Shaq.
My God. See, did he end up being a coach or no?
Yes, for a little bit. He didn't go on to coach, was the Nets?
Was it the Nets?
No, that was Jason Kidd.
I think Jason Kidd's still there.
Who did Fishy Fish coach for? I forget. I think you're right, though. I think he did coach for somebody. Maybe he was an assistant. Was he an assistant for the Lakers?
Oh, maybe. That would make more sense.
Let's see. Let's just look at this. College professional. Right, because he left. He left and went to the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he went to the Jazz, then he came back to the Lakers.
He was a head coach for the Los Angeles Sparks.
Maybe that's what. Yeah, coaching career. No, he coached the Knicks.
Wow, 2019.
14 to 16. Then he went to the Sparks. Yeah, I knew. All right, so he coached the Knicks. I knew it was a New York team. It was close. I mean, it was a very forgettable coaching tenure, nonetheless. But it was there. It existed. It happened. Speaking of the NBA, do you think Indianapolis ties this thing up and sends it to Oklahoma for Game 7?
I think Indianapolis has to tie it up.
I think so, too.
100%.
This series is going 7. I hoped it was going to go 7.
They're forcing it to go 7.
I predicted to go 7.
Scott Foster in Game 4 made sure it was going to be.
Yeah. This is. Listen, I know Oklahoma, to me, is the better team. What I watched Oklahoma do last night defensively was one of the more impressive defensive performances I've seen in a long time. So, I'm not saying, like, I didn't pick Oklahoma to win it all. I picked Minnesota to beat them in the Western Finals. I was wrong. It happens once in a while, I guess.
Yeah.
I did say, I was like, I hope I'm not underrating Oklahoma, but I just thought maybe they didn't know what they didn't know. Like they were like, they hadn't really earned it yet, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, like teams have to go through that where they got to get there. They got to make it pretty far and then lose. And then they come back and they're like, okay, we know what it takes to get by it now. Oklahoma, maybe they're just skipping that part. I mean, obviously both Indianapolis and Oklahoma are skipping that part because they're both in the finals and one of them's going to win. So I think OKC's going to win this in 7.
See, I think it's going to be the Pacers in 7.
Listen, if it's the Pacers in 7, I'll be thrilled. I
think,
really will because I love this Pacers team.
I think the Pacers team. I think the Pacers should have been ahead this whole time. I should be up 3-1 from after Game 4, and now it's just a fucking.
Scott
mockery.
Foster was like, "I'm going to call 53 fouls on the Pacers."
Dude, it was a total of 53 fouls called in that game. It's unbelievable.
And I think the majority of them was on.
Majority of them was on the Pacers.
On the Pacers. So
that's why SGA got 8 free throw shots in the last 4 minutes.
And I know, like, everybody says too, like, like SGA, like, oh, he's a foul shot farmer, like, whatever, and all this other shit. And I'm like, but what do you like? First of all, he's European. Are you surprised? He flops. Second of all, it's just the way of the NBA now.
Mm-hmm.
Until the NBA changes the rules or changes the way they officiate, this isn't going away. So get over it. I'm hoping for Game 7 just because I want to see Game 7 Sunday night. I think, Game 6 is Thursday? And then we'll get Game 7 Sunday night in OKC, which will be a fucking beautiful thing. Because there are, like, again, we talk about it all the time, the 2 best words in sports, Game 7.
Yeah.
So no matter what it is.
Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup tonight. I know you don't give a shit.
Oh, cool. The Canadian team lost.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The Canadian chick.
Yay, go America.
Remember the Canadian chick last year? She flashed her tits in the audience.
Yes. Yes.
They asked her to come to the game. They were like, show up tonight. And she's like, no.
Nah. That was a nightmare for her. She was cool as shit about it, though.
Yeah, and she's like...
And pretty dope rack.
Yes. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Fantastic rack.
And,
Edmonton, that's right.
Yeah, and then she...
Those Edmonton titties.
And then Brad Marchand won another cup tonight, which Bruins correlation because
cool.
he was a big player of it.
No, I remember.
But their main player admitted after the game was over that he has to go have massive surgery because he played with a torn abductor off the bone and he has a hernia that he played through.
Yep, sounds about right.
Sounds hockey.
Sounds pretty hockey.
I don't know how to say his last name. It's Tkachuk. I can't say it.
Who gives a shit? No one's gonna know anyway. I'm sure tens of people watch that and they're all thrilled. Didn't even know it was on. Again, didn't even know it was going on. Like I said last week, I've given up on hockey. I'm done pretending I like it or can possibly like it. I just don't give a fuck. It's just not my sport. Fuck off. I don't want to hear about it. I'll bet on it, I guess, maybe. But again, I don't even know what's on. So why would I bet on it? I don't even know where to find it. I'm sure the Paw Patrol did better ratings tonight.
They could have.
Probably did. Probably did.
Paw Patrol.
I mean, if Caitlin Clark was playing tonight, they would have done better ratings. Guaranteed.
Caitlin Clark was playing tonight.
Yeah. Oh, we should look up the we'll see. Well, we won't have to wait till tomorrow or Thursday before we see that. But real quick on NASCAR betting before we get out of here, because we've been on for almost 2.5 hours now, which is a good poll.
Yeah.
Really good poll for us. I did recommend SVG as the winner.
Yes, you did.
In my write-up, I said he is the best driver in the field at these courses. He's the fastest. He's the best. There is no reason to bet on him other than the fact that he was only at plus 270.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
let me bring those up right now too.
That was it wasn't enough money for it wasn't enough bang for my buck. Too many things can go wrong, but here's the thing, and I want to give SVG his props because the man is an absolute fucking madman, genius in a V8 on a road course. I don't know that there's anybody on the planet better at handling a 3,500-pound race car with that kind of power, taking lefts, rights, and everything in between.
Okay.
He is undoubtedly the best. Now, do I think it's a coincidence that both of his career Cup wins have come on road courses the first time they've run on that particular course. So his first win was the Chicago Street Course a couple of years ago or 2 years ago. First time they ever ran the Chicago Street Course. Nobody in NASCAR had ever run it, never even really seen it other than the sim. He was the only one that had ever run it before.
Yeah.
Wins. Mexico. Sorry, Drew, I'm on the air. Mexico.
Yeah.
Same thing. Inaugural race. Well, we raced here 20 years ago, but nobody in the field had raced here.
Yep.
So everyone who was, I think Denny Hamlin was the only guy that had ever raced here, and he missed the race because his kid was born. So he had a stand-in. Martin Truex's kid filled in for him. He wins again. I mean, and when I say he wins, dog, he gapped the field. I think this was the largest margin of victory in NASCAR in like 23 years.
Wow.
He won by like 16 seconds. It wasn't like he won by like a hair. Bro, like when I say he gapped the field, I mean like he drove away from everybody. It was very palpable how much better he was at this track than everybody else. That being said, I go to Richard Petty's comments after the race, and Richard Petty says, hey, do I think it's fair? Because this is the NASCAR playoff system that we have. So now SVG is in the NASCAR playoffs.
Okay.
He is one of the 16. He's a winner. He's guaranteed a top in the spot in the top 16. What we don't know, what the problem with that is now SVG is in because he won on a road course, which, according to me and Richard Petty, is not NASCAR. And I agree. I don't think road courses are NASCAR. I liked back in the day when you had 2 road courses a year, Sonoma and Watkins Glen, and that was it. They were novelties. And they were a place for guys who did run road courses, like, throughout their career. The Ricky Rudds, the Rusty Wallaces, the Ernie Irvins, the guys that grew up out west that ran road courses coming up to kind of showcase a little bit. Robbie Gordon, Jeff Gordon, those guys that could run rights and lefts, not just ovals. They gave them a place to showcase a little bit of what they could do. And I love that. I mean, Ricky Rudd was one of the best. You ever want to watch a cool video? I'll send it to you. I'll put it in the group chat later. Watch Ricky Rudd and watch his footwork at Sonoma and the way he heel toes that car and just takes a 3,600-pound automobile and throws it through corners like it's no big deal without losing traction and maintaining speed. It's phenomenal. I'll show it to you later. That being said, I liked when road courses were novelties. Now NASCAR's we got Mexico, we got Chicago, we got Daytona road course, we got the Charlotte road course, we got the Indy road course. Well, they got rid of that now. They're back to the oval. We got Watkins Glen, we got Sonoma. I think we have like 8 or 9 road courses on the schedule now. I'm like, bro, that's like a third of the schedule. NASCAR is meant to be run on ovals. Richard Petty agrees with me. Richard Petty is the king. He's 200 wins, 7-time champion, still alive very much. He has a beef with the way the playoffs are structured because now Shane Van Gisbergen, not because he's not worthy of being in, but he was running like 30th, 29th, 30th in points throughout the year, scores a win on a road course. Now he's in the playoffs. Why is it that the guy that was running like 17th in the points, like a Kyle Busch, who is a 2-time champion of the sport, who hasn't had the best 2 years, he's struggled with Childress, he's struggling to find speed, but he's been running pretty consistently, mid-pack, and he's getting up there, and he's knocking on the door. Now, if Van Gisbergen gets in, say SVG for short, at the 16th spot, right, and Kyle Busch misses out at 17 like he did last year, is that fair? Because this guy won a race that nobody was even competitive in. Like he was in a class all his own because this is what he does. In New Zealand, if you follow his career, you look at the New Zealand supercar circuit, he is a legend in New Zealand. He is the Kiwi killer. This dude is a monster on a road course behind the wheel of 8 cylinders. It's unbelievable what he can do, and I'm not taking anything away from that. But I think the NASCAR playoff system really needs to be rethought. And I think I have the solution.
Okay.
And I think what the solution is. Sorry, God.
No. I was gonna say. So what's your solution to this? Because if you're jumping, like if you automatically win, essentially what your
SVG.
SVG we just had. I was gonna say SGA. What SVG just did is he went notoriously 20s or lower, and then he just wins one race. Now he's in the playoff.
And now he's in the playoff.
Yeah.
And he's going to eliminate somebody like an Alex Bowman, a Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, somebody who is
Middle of the pack.
who is not middle of the pack, like runs up front, but just doesn't have hasn't won a race yet.
Okay.
But is consistently can run up in the top 15, the top 10 pretty consistently every week. But they're not breaking through. They're not getting the top 5s, the top 3s, the wins. Because it's hard. It's really fucking hard to win in this sport. What I think NASCAR needs to do is I think they just need to they need to value winning. But rather than just granting you a spot in the playoffs, make winning worth way more. So the way it used to be, right? If you won a race, you were, I think it was 180 points. Don't ask me why 180. It's just what it was.
Wow. That's pretty high for points.
And then, so a win was 180, second was 175, third 170, and then so on, like 5 points down. And then I think like it started then it went to like 7-point gap, 8-point gap, 10-point gap, whatever, the further you got down.
Okay.
Why not go back to the old point system, but make winning worth like 250 and make second worth 125?
Okay.
So while you're not, so when you win, yeah, you're still you're giving yourself a tremendous advantage, but you're not guaranteeing yourself a spot. So SVG, say he's running 30th, right?
Okay.
He's 200 points below the cut line as of Mexico City. He wins Mexico City. Boom, he's 50 points above the cut line. Now we go race 10 more ovals, and he doesn't place that well. It gives those other guys a chance to jump him again because they can run more consistently. So they'll earn, 50, 75 points to his 10 or 15.
Yeah, okay.
And they can close that gap. I think that's where they have to go with it, with the point system. I think they need to value winning, put a premium on winning, but also don't guarantee anything. Like, a win shouldn't guarantee you because of, again, last year, we talked about this last year, right? How many times, and I'm thrilled that William Byron won the Daytona 500 2 years in a row. He's my guy. There's his car right there. That's my dog. Why was William Byron wins the? Now William Byron ends up being, he's going to be a multiple race winner over the course of the year.
Okay.
Every year he's going to win multiple races, so it's a moot point. The regular season finale last year, Daytona. It's a wild card race, right? We all know Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta. Those are your 3 wild cards. Super speedways. Anything can happen.
Right.
You can go from 15th to 1st in 2 laps and find yourself on the winning end of one of those races. And just because you just avoided the chaos and carnage. And you lucked up and you came up front. Ricky Stenhouse at Talladega in the fall. Harrison Burton at Daytona in August last year. Harrison Burton, the final regular season finale, beats out Kyle Busch to win and get into the playoffs, even though he had been running, I think he was 32nd in points. Kyle Busch was on the couldn't point himself in. He was close, but couldn't quite get there. He was 18th. And he gets beat out by a car that's 32nd. And that car gets to go on the next week and compete for a playoff, even though we all know, and no disrespect to Harrison Burton and the Wood Brothers, we all know that car, they had no fucking chance. They had no business being there.
So it was all just stupid luck, obviously.
It was dumb luck. It was dumb, blind luck. And again, it's racing. Dumb, blind luck sometimes finds you and works in your favor. Other times it works against you. It is what it is. But I think NASCAR needs to go back to a system of putting a premium on winning, but not guaranteeing you a spot in the playoffs. Let's go back to a points-based system.
Okay.
But where, winning is you really want to win because that's a real big advantage. I'm talking a 50, 100-point advantage. Because then if you're a multiple race winner, bang, you win 4 races, this is 1,000 points. And then you get to the end of the season, the cutoff's 1,100. Cool, man. As long as you finish 2 or 3 other races, you could wreck out in all the other ones and you're still in.
Right.
Because you won 4.
Right.
I think that would be the best way to go.
Okay.
I don't know if that's maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody could poke holes in it. I'd love to talk to somebody, with obviously I'm not shitting on you, but like you don't watch NASCAR like I do.
Of course I don't.
I would love to talk to somebody cup-wise about it, and maybe I'll reach out to some of my friends like that are in NASCAR, and maybe like some people that I might start reaching out. Maybe we'll have a guest on in a couple of weeks or something, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But
they can talk
cup racing,
knowing cup racing and knowing exactly who's going to be where and how this matters, because I'm just like, I don't know. I have no clue. I ask you, I'm just like, is this person good? And you're like, yeah, they're good for this race. They're
because
not good
I
for
think
this next coming one.
Right, and like I said, like I've been killing it. Listen, man, if you bet everybody I bet just to finish top 5 all year, you're in the plus side of money. Now, if you bet them to win, you're not doing so good. I've only got 1 win on the year, and we're just about the halfway mark. This is by far the worst I've ever done in picking winners. And I can't help it that, William Byron has suddenly lost his killer instinct and can't close races. I can't help it that, the one day I don't pick Ryan Blaney, he wins. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, again, I thought we did pretty good in Mexico City. I said SVG was probably going to be, he was definitely the odds-on favorite, and he was probably going to win. But I gave you Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, who all ran up front all fucking day. Mm-hmm. Ty Gibbs got the raw end of the deal on a pit strategy. That would have been a killer first win for him. But again, they didn't have the speed to beat SVG, and it was what it was, and it is what it isn't. But at the end of the day, we're going to, like I said, I'm not changing my betting process. Like, I'm still looking at everything that I look at every week, because what I'm looking at is right. Like, I'm looking at the right things. I'm just not I'm waiting for the pendulum to come back the other way.
Of course.
Law of averages.
The law of averages will work out.
I know every bettor that's in a hole says this, but we're due.
Yeah, we're overdue.
We're overdue, baby. So stick with us. Row 1 C1 Facebook page. I put up my picks every Saturday night, Sunday morning.
I feel like
usually Sunday morning, like late Sunday mornings.
I'm telling you, football this year. I feel like I'm gonna be like red hot with football this year.
I'm gonna crush some fucking mega parlays this year, and I'm gonna forget all about my woes of NASCAR.
Yeah.
Football is gonna be my bread and butter this year.
Dude,
anytime touchdowns and prop parlays are going to be like, I was so close last year. Now I feel like I kind of have a better idea, a better handle on what to do. And instead of going for like the swinging for the fences, like going for like the $15,000 fucking parlay, I'm just going to tone it down and go for like $500. I'll put 100 to win 500, and just not saying it's gonna be easy.
That's not bad,
but I think I can turn a profit in football this year. I think I learned enough last year because I did it every week.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I'd throw $10 on a parlay, and I'm like, damn, like, how many times? I mean, Mac Jones fucked me on a half a point.
That was unbelievable.
For out of $1,700, I was 6 yards short from $2,700 between two guys the next week. Like, we're gonna make some money this year for sure. But I'm not posting that shit because I don't fuck with.
No, not yet.
I don't do football betting. It's just not my thing. NASCAR, listen, I can tell you who's going to finish up front, and I've done pretty good at that. Top 5, top 10, all day. The only thing we've struggled to do is nail down the winners. Mm-hmm. So we'll get there, but we'll leave it there for now. This is a fun show.
This was almost, speaking of watching Gladiator 3, this is almost a 3-hour show. Gladiator 3. Gladiator 2.
I got a race in 13 minutes, so.
Oh, fuck, okay.
That's good stuff. Good timing to end.
It's really good timing.
I was like, I meant to, I was like, I almost said to you, like, before the show, like, yeah, I'm just going to be off by midnight because I have a race at midnight. And I was, in my head, I was like, I'm going to be like, yo, if I'm still here at midnight, dude, I'm fucking, like, I'm going to kill myself. Like, fuck that. Like, why are we going to be on that long?
Yeah, we had Karen Reed, and we had Raffy, and we had NBA Finals barely, and then we had NASCAR. That's it.
Yeah, and I don't even think we didn't really do any NFL shit. But
no, there was no NFL to talk about. Everyone's on a break right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's going back home. They basically tell you, don't fucking gain weight for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, don't get fat, you pieces of shit, and be ready to go the end of July.
And
don't get hurt.
They're talking to you, Debo. Who
definitely don't get hurt.
Who fucking gained 20 pounds this offseason.
Chubby.
You see him in the
No.
Redskins camp? You give Levendale White a run for his money right now.
Nice.
He's thick.
Smacking down that Patron.
But he's supposed to be a speedster. Why is he so thick as a wide receiver?
No, he's a power receiver. I've never really considered him a speedster.
Yes, he was.
No, Tyreek Hill is a speedster.
No, Debo was a speedster.
Tyreek Hill and what's his name that played for the Ravens and the Cardinals. They used to do the fucking dance, that stupid dance.
Jamal Anderson?
No, not Jamal Anderson.
Fucking did the dirty
I
bird.
know, I just did the
I was
dirty
like,
bird.
what
I
are you
know
gonna
I was
do?
the dirty bird. No, oh my God, what was his name?
Cardinals and who? Marquise Brown?
Cardinals and Ravens. I
Marquise
think.
Brown?
Was it Marquise Brown?
Yeah, that's Antonio Brown's cousin.
Didn't he do the wicked, obnoxious end zone dance?
Yeah,
where, like-
because he can't fucking dance. He just did like a whole body like seizure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was wicked funny. Loved it. But anyway, thank you everybody for listening in. Thank you for following us on Row 1 Seat 1 on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back next Tuesday night. We'll definitely be back next Tuesday, and then it'll be touch and go after that. Because it's getting up to our summer break.
How fat that little guy is. He's
Someone-
struggling to run.
Someone's falling around with a tuba. Womp, 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 ba-da-ba-bump, bump, bump. But we'll be back next Tuesday night. Well, Sean and I will be back next Tuesday. Paul is off until further notice, I think, unless he decides to show up next Tuesday, but that's on his accord.
No, I don't think so.
No, not based off what he told us last week. It's like, all right, guys, see you in September. We're like, okay, cool. But nonetheless, we'll be back next Tuesday to do our last show before our summer break. Let's be honest, June 24th. The next show we do will only be, we might do an emergency show in July, if and when something pops off in the NBA offseason. Like something massive, like Giannis to the Lakers.
Huge trade.
It's gonna be like Giannis to the Lakers or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a show then. But other than that, I might do some streaming this weekend, or next weekend rather. We got iRacing in Atlanta, so
Yeah.
it's one of my
That's all your thing.
it's one of my fortes, one of my good tracks. So it'll be fun. But we'll be back next Tuesday night. Sean and I, 8:45 p.m. right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide for Mr. Betancourt. I'm Mr. Fats. This has been Joey Fats Radio, Row 1 C1. We'll see you all next Tuesday. Peace.
Later, guys.
Free Karen Reed.
Fat.